With fall officially upon us, it's time for week 2 of the Woods Watch Party as we relive another classic edition of Dartmouth football with some of the players and coaches that made these games so memorable. Today we'll throw it back to September 23rd, 2017, with the Big Green hosting number 25 Holy Cross in the home opener at Memorial Field. Dartmouth had defeated Holy Cross in each of their previous 2 matchups, but this Crusaders team came in with a national ranking and a world of momentum, having blown out number 9 UNH the week before. So to make it 3 in a row against Holy Cross, Dartmouth would need to fire on all 3 cylinders: offense, defense, and especially special teams.
Hi, everybody. Great to have you back for another edition of the Woods Watch Party. I'm Dartmouth football ESPN Plus broadcaster Tyler Murray. Last week, we had a great time and a privilege watching the 2016 upset of UNH with quarterback Jack Hennigan, defensive lineman Brendan Cascarano, defensive line coach Dwayne Brooks, and head coach Buddy Tevens. Today, we're very happy to welcome 2 standouts from the Week 2 game we're reliving this week. First, let's welcome in from Salt Lake City, running back Ryder Stone.
Hey, y'all, happy to be here, and I'm excited to revisit this game. Back to you, Tyler.
Look out to number 32 in black in this game. That's Ryder. And from Chicago, Illinois, it's defensive end Jeremiah Duche.
What's up, everybody? Same as Ryder. I'm glad to be here. This should be fun.
Jeremiah wearing number 45 in this game, and the C, of course, for captain. And also making his Woods Watch Party debut from Hanover, New Hampshire, longtime Dartmouth's defensive coordinator, Don Dobes.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you. Great to have you here. Fired up to be part of this monumental game against a really good team from Worcester, Mass. So looking forward to it.
Let's get right to it, guys. So good to have you all with us. Let's join the broadcast here on the Ivy League Network. And you mentioned it, Coach Dobes. I want to start with you. Set the stage for us here. You're coming off a big win over Stetson week 1. Holy Cross, so they come in red hot, and you got to fire your guys up to try to beat a ranked opponent in the home opener.
Yeah, that's been a great rivalry for us. It's been one of those games that both teams recruit from a lot of the same areas, and a lot of these guys played against each other in high school, and so there's that genuine respect, and at the same time, just the opportunity to play against that offense, that quarterback. We've been watching those guys, and believe me, we knew how good they were coming in, especially after what they had done to UNH.
Yeah, Peter Poulials is that quarterback you're talking about. And Jeremiah, this must have been a great feeling for you. The first couple of years of your career, you were hindered with injuries, but this is part of a season where you started all 10 games. It had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It was definitely a great opportunity to kind of push from, being injured for about 2 years there to kind of being a start point on the team. It was pretty cool. And it was exciting to play Peter Poulials. I mean, he's somebody also from the Chicagoland area. I saw him freshman year we played him, and he kind of destroyed us with his run game. We knew he was a dual threat then. And so for him to come back after an injury the year before, it was exciting to kind of do this one more time.
And Ryder, you guys had played Holy Cross a couple of times. This is your senior year. What was your impression of this program as they came in with? This was their first national ranking in 7 years.
Yeah, I remember we were watching film of them, and I mean, it was a little intimidating at first. I mean, they were ranked and everything, but I think as we'll see, we held our own there, and it was an exciting game for sure.
Montgomery stays out there. He's all alone to the
a lot of
left.
offensive firepower. They had a receiver, Blaze Bell, came in with a couple hundred yards and some touchdowns, and he's going to get started right away. And what was the biggest concern for you, Coach Dobes, as your defensive game plan was coming together to try and game plan for this Crusader team?
Well, he was actually a quarterback in high school, too. I think he's from Loyola also, and where Peter's from. And Jeremiah was from the same Catholic league in the Chicago area. So those guys had seen each other a few other times. It was just their ability to stretch you so many different ways between the talents of the quarterback, the 3 running backs, and all those talented receivers. And they always have big, monstrous tight ends. So they keep you guessing the whole game.
The snap and the shotgun, handoff left. Walker bottled up.
There's a great job by Nick getting upfield. You know, that's Nicky Tompkins there out of Matawan, New Jersey.
Had a chance there for a tackle for a loss. Strung out the play.
Yeah.
So Holy Cross only got 2 out of it, but they could have lost 3 or 4.
You can see they don't spend much time with his ability as a quarterback. They don't spend a lot of time talking. You know, he gets them lined up and tries to get you on your heels right away.
Makes it tough on your defense. You love to rotate those linemen in and out to keep them fresh. As I think
Coach Brooks does a great job with Jeremiah and the guys, and we try to only do the substitution when the hash is nearest us. We don't want our guys running, all the way over to 2 hash marks. That can wear them out too.
I think Jeremiah saw you in on the first tackle of the day there.
Yeah, I think that's when I started to get it going. And yeah, Coach Dobes is right. You know, we usually play about like 8 reps with Coach Brooks, and then he kind of gets us out of there. But we try to keep the offensive plays a little bit less than that. We hope 3 and out is the goal.
Another tackle for you right there.
It's a good little drive right here.
Yeah, it's always good to see the big guys. They're hungry, so we like to feed them early, and make sure that. And the other thing we like to do early, Tyler, is try to get a hit on the quarterback. It's just one of those mentalities where, hey, let them know that, we're going to be chasing them all day long or all game long. In this case, all evening long.
Yeah, and I think especially for this guy, we knew how talented he was, so getting him as uncomfortable as possible. He was hurt the year before in our game against them, so making him feel a little uneasy in the pocket kind of would help us a long way. And I think it definitely added a little bit near the ending there.
He's driven backwards up to the 21-yard line. But 11 yards, how about that?
And there's the start of the good special teams there with Danny. Boy, what a fearless player he was. And he would try to catch any punt that was, it didn't matter how close the tacklers were. He was going to defend it, and he didn't like the fair catch.
Runs in the family with the McMahon.
Yeah, boy, that's the truth.
He was on his way to an all-Ivy season. He won the team MVP award, the Bob Blackman Trophy. Ryder, got to be a good feeling for you. Quick defensive stand and first offensive possession, as not here, though, with the empty backfield, but you're about to get in here pretty quick with a chance to take the lead.
I was down at the bottom there, 5th receiver, but it's always good to get out early, get the jitters out of the way. I mean, they just get excited to get there and just kind of, always for me at least, the first couple plays are a little tense, and it's nice to be able to get in a rhythm early. So when the defense comes up clutch like that, it's real nice for us.
You sound like the kind of guy who likes to just get out there and hit someone as soon as possible to get into the flow of the game. Where does that come from? Is that all the way from youth football?
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been like that. I've just been excited to just get going, and it usually takes 1 or 2 good pops for me to really feel like getting in the rhythm. And so, I can tell that run there, I was a little too hyper. It's nice when I can just settle down a little bit more. I probably wouldn't have tripped.
Definitely still a nice person.
He needs to be hit a couple of times before he can relax and start doing his stone thing.
Ball at the 31 far hash. Handoff or snap, fake handoff. Hannigan drops back.
QBJ.
Oh, nice.
Then fumbled at the 30. Are they going to say catch?
Now, this is before the age of replay. This was actually the last season before the Ivy League brought video replay review. And it did look like the defensive back might have had possession before it popped out, but the officials, it's really up to them right now, and they say incomplete, so maybe an early break for the Big Green.
Yeah, definitely. I think offenses like to stretch you deep early, which is, I think, always a good concept for offenses, and just went a little bit too deep on that.
Ryder, this was the first year with the new offensive coordinator, right, Kevin Daft? How much did he switch up the system from the previous year?
I mean, quite a bit. Just his concepts and stuff were so sound, and I really didn't even think about comparing the two. It just, once he came in and introduced his new playbook, it was just, that was it from there on. And he just introduced it in a way that it was hard to compare to last year's, but it was exciting. And he kind of treated each player uniquely and used his arsenal to his advantage. Didn't just come with a playbook and was like, this is what we're doing. He looked at who we had and the weapons that he could use, and he did a great job of building an offense with us.
Is there kind of an excitement when a new coordinator on either side comes into a program and, okay, new plays, offense, maybe defense? And obviously, Coach Jobs, you've been there for quite a while, but does that kind of give the offensive unit a bit more excitement?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. I think it's a catch-22, you know. You're nervous about having to learn a new playbook and everything and develop a relationship with a new coach, but at the same time, it does offer new opportunities. And, I mean, he came and proved himself early, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's good for us on the other side of the ball because it allows us to, you know, because we compete against them so much in the spring and preseason. It's you know, I tell the guys that, you know, when we're preparing that we're playing against our offense, well, that's just like game day. You know, you just got to be ready to adjust, improvise, and see what their actual game plan is. And he does a great job, like Ryder said, of creating a lot of mismatches that make us have to work on the other side of the ball too.
Yeah, for us, I think it was definitely a lot of fun getting new looks as far as practice was going and the different schemes coming in from Coach Dad. So it was exciting. He was coming from the West Coast too, so it was definitely a different feel than a lot of the power outside zone stuff we were used to all the time.
It's Davis Brief.
How much did you guys take away from that Week 1 win? First time ever playing in the state of Florida, I understand. 38-7 win over Stetson. Now, Pioneer League football, they're on the come up, it seems, but maybe that's a conference you expect to win against. Did you take away a lot from that game thinking, okay, we could be in for a special season, or did you not want to glean too much from a game like that and a matchup like that? Coach, we'll start with you.
Well, you know, that was a special game for me because I was going against Roger Hughes, and I had worked with Roger at, you know, he's a former Dartmouth coordinator, but we worked together for 10 years at Princeton together. So, you know, it was extremely important to me, but you know, defensively, it was the first time to get those guys together, and I felt like it was such a neat team that we had on the defensive side of the ball. I couldn't wait to see, you know, what they were all like once we got them out on the field. So it was a good competition because they have some talent, and so speed-wise, it was legit speed. I just think we were stronger and more physical than they were.
Big hole there by the Holy Cross offensive line.
Yeah, I think for me, as a captain, we wanted to kind of come out and change how we looked at the season. The year before, we didn't do as well as we would like. And so I think we met with like 30 guys that we had decided were leaders on the team maybe that spring before, and kind of laid out what we expected. And the goal is to just go 1-0 every week. And so while we executed early with Stetson, we definitely felt like, you know, every week was kind of a whole new thing. So we didn't care about what happened last week. And I definitely think this Holy Cross game felt like our first measuring stick. We didn't know where Stetson kind of was in comparison to our league, whereas Holy Cross like kind of consistently played at the same level as us. So it was definitely like some angst as like our first season opener at home as well.
Tom Gilmore wants to get back at his old.
Yeah, and we had remembered, you know, playing against these guys when they beat us like 2 years ago. We had remembered that game and then had a really nice matchup with them at their place, you know, in the previous year. So, but we knew these guys were talented, and we knew that this quarterback would be as good as any that we would see all year. He is a kid that, you know, made it in an NFL preseason camp, and legitimately so. He has all the tools to play at that next level.
So Dartmouth does decline back-to-back incompletions, so now it's 3rd and 10 at the 20-yard line.
And Holy Cross, they had rushed for 150 yards the previous week, threw for over 300 against UNH, who again was a top 10 team in the country. So how much of that was an eye-opener for you? Did you maybe coming into the season think, okay, Holy Cross, we've got them the last couple of times we've played them, but then, look how they handled UNH? Or did you always kind of have that respect for them going in?
Well, my feeling was that we knew they were good. We didn't know they were that good, I guess, is the UNH thing, because, you know, we have the utmost of respect for UNH just based on what we had seen against them in 2014 and 15. We knew how good they were. And we know they're always a measuring stick. So the UConn game they played well against. But, UConn eventually should wear them down and beat them, and that's what UConn did. But when they did that to UNH, we said, whoa, this is going to be a great matchup for us. There goes Danny Mack again. Our special team did a great job, field position and everything else for us.
That's the second very good punt return by
Now, Ryder, we're going to see you and Jared Gerbino a little bit here. Kind of that two-headed monster. Really, it's 3, 4, 5 guys you can hand the ball off to as part of this offense, it seems. But tell us what that was like. How much easier is your job when you have that big quarterback out there who's a threat just like you?
Oh, yeah. Playing with Gerbino's fun. I mean, he is a dual threat. I mean, arguably just a workhorse. He's almost a running back just like us. It's awesome having him back there, and just seeing him go off is great. I mean, there was a Princeton game his first year where he was really getting a lot of play time, and he knows how to run. It's fun to watch. But yeah, definitely made our jobs easier because, linebackers always had an eye on him, and sometimes we forget about us every now and then.
I'd heard there was maybe attention from pro scouts, and that still could be the case. Is there a position maybe you could see him playing in the professional ranks? You, of course, Ryder, played in the CFL, so you probably know better than anybody.
Yeah, I've actually talked to him a little bit about it, and unfortunately it's not great timing with coronavirus and everything for him. I know a lot of the guys are having a hard time getting their shot right now, but I could easily see him playing somewhere, whether it's at HVAC or what have you. He's a worker, and he's excited about football. He loves the sport, and I would obviously love to see him get a shot. I think he's talented enough. It is hard to say in what capacity he'd be on the field for.
Yeah, I think that H-back, because early on when he was a freshman, he was down there with the scout team with us, and we put him at all different positions depending on who was one of their key guys we had to defend that week. So if it was a certain wide out, or we'd circle who the ball's supposed to go to, and we'd try to get him in as many of those places as we could. We even talked about trying to steal him on defense, but that was just to give the offense a hard time because we knew that was never going to happen.
Yeah, he definitely gave us a lot of great looks before we got to see him on the field live, for sure. You see him at tight end, wide receiver, quarterback, running back. You just had to make sure you knew where he was. So he's always been a fun guy to watch, for sure.
So it's Penza,
and he's got such a great disposition as a person and as a competitor. He's the real deal as a competitive guy.
And looking right now, it's like we got 4 tight ends in between him, Vito, I think Stevie J's in there, and somebody else. They were always kind of a cohesive group. So I think he probably had a special feel with all the other positions, having played them so much, right? Like, he wasn't just a quarterback the whole time. He was in the wide receiver meeting room sometimes, tight end, so he bounced around. So I'm sure that helped.
Tackle a quarterback that big. Gerbino just puts his shoulder down and goes.
Probably one of the times when you're especially happy there's not tackling in practice, when you'd have to be wrapping him up.
Honestly, probably Ryder was one of those guys who probably helped the defense a little bit week to week, not have to tackle.
Go ahead,
touchdown by Emery right there.
Oh, great throw, great catch.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
Emery was one of the stars of our Week 1 Woods Watch Party, and he just seems such a dynamic offensive weapon.
Oh, yeah. Emery could do a little bit of everything. I mean, you saw him on special teams last week, too. He's a dog. He'll get it done.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. One of the things that was most fun for us to watch on defense was kickoff coverage when he was running down there. You talk about somebody flying down the field and getting after people. And, he's not a big fella, but, boy, his heart is huge. Huge. You want that guy on your side, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was a weapon for sure. I mean, that was the crazy thing about the offense this year is it just seemed like we had endless opportunity. We almost didn't know, like QBJ could have thrown to anyone and it was going to be a big play, and it was fun to see. And then having Gerbino work in with him, and we had so many weapons this year.
Good block, Ryder.
And then Emery Thompson with a perfectly thrown ball by Jack Hennigan.
A great throw by.
That's all that practice from the one-on-ones against the linebackers, Ryder.
You know it. Got my butt handed to me once or twice, so I learned.
Yeah.
Dealing with flow all the time didn't make it too fun.
Nah, nobody wants to go one-on-one against Flo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Personal banking products and services from checking and savings accounts to financial planning and wealth management services.
I didn't want to let that touchdown go by without shouting out Jack Hennigan for that great throw. I saw in the YouTube chat last week, I had to write this down, Bo Patterson said, looking forward to Jack Hennigan's 2034 presidential campaign. Do you guys see that kind of potential for him, or what is that from Bo Patterson?
Bo's a funny dude as well. He's a great receiver for us back in the day, but he's always down to say something interesting. But Jack is definitely a guy who could probably do anything he wanted. He decided he wants to be astronaut. We see him up there.
There's number 4 making the tackle on the kick.
Oh yeah, right
after scoring a touchdown, he'll just go right down and make the tackle. Why not?
Absolutely.
So funny thing about Hennigan, his dad played for me when I was at Penn, and he was actually he was the co-captain his senior year. He was an all Ivy League tight end, so I knew his mom and dad from way back when, and we were really fired up when Penn decided to take somebody else at quarterback, and we'd get a shot at taking QBJ, So it's amazing how things go around.
Backfield snap is away. Handoff on an end around for Holy Cross. Up to the 30. Now he cuts up 36.
Oh, nice job of stringing it out. The kid still found a nice crease, though. That's what like I said, he was quite the athlete.
From Punahou School in Honolulu.
You can see they're trying to get us on our heels again right away.
Good down here for Pujols.
2nd and 5. Fake handoff, fires near side. It's Bell again who makes the catch, steps out at the 40.
I think he had like 9-10. He's going to have 9-10 catches this game, something like that.
Yeah, something like 100 yards.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 44.
He's getting a workout just running from one side to the other.
Defense gave Blaze enough room to get open out in the right side.
Do you try to mark maybe your best corner, maybe Isaiah Swan, on their top receiver, or is more of I got one side, I got another side?
We tend to be more of a field side and a boundary side, and typically our best corner will go into the boundary because that's where you get a lot of trips to one side and single receiver to the other side. So in my mind, a lot of the one-on-one battles are going to be into the boundary. It's an easier throw, and if you can lock, that's where Vernon was, that's where Isaiah was. So, yeah, it makes me sleep better at night, when I know that's taken care of.
I also loved having, our top corner in the boundary, too, because I played it a lot. So they were great. Like, Brandon was great on run support. Isaiah Swan was great. He's a smaller dude, but, man, he was really good on run support. So having him there helped a lot. He had a little bit less to worry about if he lost contain.
Only the 4th catch of the year for Harton, but he found lots of space over the middle.
Ryder, when you're watching this from the sideline, when you're not talking to your offensive coaches, any defensive players that stood out to you where you're thinking, man, I'm glad he's on our team?
Generally, I thought that about our whole defense that year, especially our D-line, man. Everybody is close to 300 pounds. I never wanted to run into one of them. I was happy they were on my team. But, no, I mean, we had Kai and Nickel that was kind of coordinating the whole thing, and Trainer was always a force. I mean, it's hard. You could pick a name out of the hat from the defense that year, and they were just unstoppable, really.
Yeah, we were really blessed with Ponarelli and Cascarano and Jeremiah, Jackson, Tompkins.
Yes.
It was fun, man. You could roll them in there. Here we go.
Dumps it off near side, catch made.
That's great defense there. I mean, that's our trademark. Is I tell the guys one thing: if we don't do anything else, we're going to run to the football. You know, I don't care if they do anything else. If they run to the football and that team watches tape and says, hey, these guys are going to run to the football, then they're doing their job.
More than that as the secondary came around to make the tackle.
We saw that in the game last week in our Woods Watch Party. Brendan Cascarano, you just mentioned, the play looked like it was over, and I think the first quarter he ran to the ball, and then it just popped into his hands because a fumble was forced. So that swung the game.
Yeah.
I gotta call him to give him some more crap about not scoring.
He almost didn't even know he had the ball.
Right.
That sounds like it still hurts. He brought that up right away.
Good.
This is a great job by the quarterback here. I mean, check out the push up the middle. Look at this throw going to his left. I mean, there's not too many quarterbacks we face that can make that kind of throw going to his, going to his left, throwing back to his right. He did that a couple of times.
After a big third down completion. Snap to Pujols. Fires left, catch made. Across the first down stripe, out of bounds, forced, big tackle hit.
And they're in a stretch here of 3 consecutive plays of 10 yards or more. No panic button, obviously, but are you able to make adjustments on the fly with play calling and formations, or do you need to ride this out until they slow down the tempo?
First down pickup. Now
well, it's one of those things where they have us on our heels right now, and I think the most important thing is to stay calm. I mean, if I get itchy out there, they're going to get itchy. I may just try to keep on making sure that we're sound and we're doing our thing. I know at some point we're going to make a play, and there's certain times when the only time you can make adjustments is when you get them to the sideline. I mean, it's you may try to bring a blitz or something else if you can get a feel for it. But here's a good look at a 3x1, 4x1, and quick game. And there you go right there. I mean, there's Danny knocking it down.
Terrific coverage by McManus.
Biggest thing here is keeping the guys, keeping them fresh, so because I tell the guys in preseason camp we want 22. We're not looking for 11. We're looking for 22 because that's the only way you can play defense in this day and age. If all you don't have is 11, you're going to get run out in the second half. That's a great job by Miley coming and getting the power on the guard, wrapping around there.
I think something special about this team was there were so many guys that can play. Like, we really took that next man up mentality to heart. We had a couple of injuries throughout the season, but it didn't matter who was out there, whether it was Danny, JB, Isaiah Swan, Colin Boyd, Rogie. Somebody was going to be out there making a crazy play. And as long as we just kept going, kept fighting, somebody was going to be there.
With a tight end in there.
And I felt like this defense had great balance at all 3 levels. It was a team that had guys that could run everywhere. That's where DJ gets hurt, right?
Yeah, I think he got hurt. He sprained it allegedly on this play, and then he was back out there. I think the next drive. That's when he said he hurt the pop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, if this was his second game, he started the game before. He caught a pick 6 the game before versus Stetson.
Yeah.
So I think he just wasn't familiar with getting low right there for those bigger quarterbacks. This dude was probably like 220. He's kind of big, but he's still fast.
And it's always tough at that sideline when you're coming to make that play. I mean, is he going to run out of bounds? Is he going to try to get the extra yard?
40 seconds to clock winds here in Hanover. Been a nice drive so far for the Crusaders. 4 down linemen for the Big Green.
All right, so we went big here. We went with the 4 big boys up front now.
Pujols trips to the right.
Give us a little more beef out there.
Drops back, stairs left, dumps it off left. Catch made at the 9, spun around at the 8, nowhere else to go.
Again, nice job of wrapping up, nice job running the ball. Jeremiah making his, good job of trying to get his hand up.
And that winds up being the last play of the first quarter. Holy Cross is going to wind it down with a chance to punch it in when we come back on week 2 of the Woods Watch Party from 2017. Stay tuned.
Make your debit card green. Big green. Select from 16 options by visiting any Ledyard Bank location or calling 888-746-4562. Ledyard's online and mobile banking includes free personal mobile check deposit, so you can show all your Dartmouth pride on your home turf. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Pierre LeBlanc, president of Engelberth Construction. For over 40 years, we've been recognized as one of the largest and most dynamic commercial construction companies in northern New England. As a premier builder and partner of Dartmouth Athletics, we have built many facilities on campus. And at Engelberth Construction, we truly believe in building relationships for life. Go Big Green.
Back for the second quarter, a Jack Hennigan touchdown pass to Emery Thompson has the Big Green ahead 7-0 in their home opener against nationally ranked Holy Cross. But the Crusaders, on a long drive, will begin the second quarter on the doorstep of tying this game up. And Coach Dobes, backs against the wall here. It's been a long drive. You do get a little bit of a rest for that quarter break, but it's been a lot of time out there for the defense.
Yeah, it has been. They've been clicking on all cylinders, and the guy is on right now. He's making the throws. He's threading the needle, and they're trying. You can see they're trying to flood us weak there. And I think we just got a little caught up. We just sneaked a peek at the wrong time, and they did a nice job of being able to stick it on different levels to us there. And I think Danny was just a little hesitant at the last second there. So anytime you have any kind of a doubt in the secondary with that close to the red zone, and typically we're pretty good red zone team. The field gets smaller and everything like that. Kid, I thought he threw a heck of a bullet there and completed it. So, but the nice thing is we were up 7-0, so now we're back tied with these guys.
And high in the air.
And there you see 32 in the black jersey. Ryder Stone is actually going to return this kick. Let's see.
Yard line by Ryder Stone across the 15, snakes to the 20.
Oh,
yeah, baby. There you go. Now you're talking.
That's a good start.
He's been known to take a few to the house too, right, Ryder?
I think I had one or two during my career.
Yeah. I remember, wasn't a Brown year?
Brown, yeah. Yeah, I think it was sophomore or junior year when we were playing at Brown, took one to the house. I just remember constantly almost catching up to me, and I was thinking, man, am I really running this slow?
Well, he could run now.
No, I'm just playing.
He can run now.
wow. I remember that Columbia game. He just ends up destroying the guy.
Oh, when he got ejected?
Yeah, I think that was a bad call.
He had to go in the stands and watch it.
In motion, handoff to Estrada. Here he is across the 30.
Hit that seam, baby. There you go.
Taken out from the knees.
Is that Drew Estrada?
Yeah, oh yeah, young Drew.
Young Drew.
Yeah, before he got the single digit.
I think that's his first carry of the year.
You know, we had when I was at Rice, we had recruited his dad, and because he's a Texas guy, and in the end we couldn't take him. His dad was like a wishbone type or flexbone type fullback, and we had signed somebody else, and he told me he still got the letter I sent to him telling him that I was so bummed out we couldn't take him, but everything works out.
There's a good run by Miles.
Yeah.
Small world.
Downhill there.
And 4 extra yards.
Yeah, I feel like we had so many people that were running the ball this year between you, Miles.
Rashad
may have been hurt, but Drew, Trevino.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's just like our ground game was crazy.
The play calling up nicely.
Now, this offensive line, these guys are all what? Are they all juniors now, or what? Right?
Yeah, I think at the time 3 were juniors because we had both the Kilcommons and Caskey, I think.
And wasn't Burton too?
I think he was rotating because then I think Hags was another one. Who was playing center? Oh, that was one of the Kilcommons.
They got Dr. Kilcommons, junior center, John Kilcommons, junior left guard, Matt Caskey, junior left tackle. Other side, Jack Anderson, senior right guard.
That's right.
And
Then Ben Hageman, senior right tackle.
Okay, yeah.
you talked about this last week, but Jandy was another one of those guys that ended up going to school in the UK. after finishing at Dartmouth. I think he played a little bit over there with Kai.
Rock on Kai, yeah. I thought he was going to get it.
I did too.
Yeah.
Flag on the play, though.
That helps. We like that flag. Hunter can go get it now. Yeah. Between him and Estrada, and
Honeycutt.
Their class was pretty stacked in general.
Yeah.
Chucky Mack.
Mack. That's quite a crew. Yeah, old Jandy was a tough, ornery dude now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, JD would know best.
Yeah, Jandy and I spent a lot of time going against each other in the pods. It was always a lot of fun.
Yeah, there were a few skirmishes at practice, Tyler, now.
I can imagine.
We messed that one up, yeah.
Yeah.
Which one of us got the signal wrong, but we're wrong formation.
Yeah,
Is this coming back to you with every play, Ryder, more and more as you watch them?
Yeah, especially the calls. I actually remember that penalty because I remember how upset I was because I think I was the one that messed it up.
To the backfield, Ryder Stone. Now Emery Thompson comes in motion, handoff, end around, fake Turbino up the middle.
Man, he had that outside seam too there. He might still be running if he just kind of bounced a little bit off tackle there.
Dartmouth offensive line, Adam, one of the real question marks coming into the season.
That's a lot of bodies into the boundary.
They knew he was solid. The common twins.
Okay, there's Honeycutt.
Call is in there now.
There's 8-3.
At left guard, Hageman at right tackle.
Boy, you talk about a tough kid. Whew. Man, he'd make the tough catch for you, too.
Yeah, I think that Sacred Heart game, we were like, it was back and forth, and he made some touchdown catch. It's insane. Up this one right here. I think he went for like 150 or something crazy.
Yeah.
Always came up clutch.
With a block by Hagdorn. Beat the defender.
We had a couple of plays back and forth where the quarterbacks are kind of flip-flop. 2 in a row for Hennigan here, but Ryder, as a running back, how do you find out and how difficult is it when the quarterbacks change? Do you see them coming on the field like, okay, I guess this is a Gerbino play, or is there kind of a call signal where you know it's coming?
Oh, we had a ton of signals. I mean, everything was no huddle, obviously, and immediately as soon as the play's done, you're looking to the sideline to see formation. I mean, we had like all our different signals. You know, I don't know what they're using these days, so I'm not going to say anything. But you know, we'd call in like our heavy package, and it'd be echoing from the sideline, and so Gerbino would come in, and that's how you know. But you definitely have to stay alert. But we practiced it all the time, so it was just routine. It really didn't feel like anything special. You just knew that that's what you did. You paid attention, and it was either a jack or a Gerbino play.
Drew Honeycutt, the holder on this kick.
With a fellow Canadian kicking it.
Is that our guy, Schmitty?
Oh, yeah.
10-7.
Yeah.
He's from Montreal, right?
Yeah, from Montreal. I got to hang out with him a little bit while I was up there playing.
Good man, good family. Good man, good family.
Smitty and I used to be like lab partners in my science classes back in the day, so I appreciate him for all of his work back then.
There's 4 again.
Flying down.
Flying down.
Big hit on special teams again, up to the 26-yard line.
He just has the knack.
Let's see what we got going here.
In on the ball carrier. UNH won today.
Yeah, I wonder if, as a defensive coordinator, coach, pretty good start. They had that one long drive, about 6 minutes to end the first quarter, and then they scored to start the second. Do you need to be making adjustments preemptively in case maybe they saw something in the first quarter that they're going to adjust? Or are you able to still run things essentially the same as it was the first quarter?
No, I mean, we're constantly trying to adjust the different looks we're giving them and trying to figure out what coverages are working, I mean, against their different. So here's a perfect example of starting off this series with an interception off the play action. I thought this was a great play by Boyd. You know, he comes all the way up on the run and then does a great job of turning. You know, Sammy and Cav do a great job with them of once they do recognize getting it out of there. And that was I don't think Peter ever saw him coming back for the pick. But yeah, we're constantly doing a good job of talking to the guys upstairs and seeing what our tendencies are. We want to keep them working too. They're making us work. We're trying to keep them working.
Is there much coaching for you, Jeremiah, after a one-play defensive possession, or is it all right? Back to the bench. Let's relax for a bit.
So usually when we go to the bench, we don't do much talking. I think Coach Doves, he gets together with the linebackers, and Coach Brooks with us with the linemen. He's basically just telling us, keep it simple, stay where you're supposed to be. And we just keep doing it. It's just working. Try not to change too much.
Yeah, I think the biggest there with Coach Brooks and those guys is just he does a great job of rotating them. He does a great job of saying the right thing on the sideline to them. You know, he knows when to get after them, and he knows when to put an arm around them. And you know you're in trouble when the head man comes over to talk. Then I got to step aside and let the head man.
See that Coach T walk down the sidelines.
Yeah. It's usually after a team scores. I said to him, you got to come down once in a while when we do something good.
12 men on the field.
I like that.
It's one of the dangers when you run all those packages in and out.
Yeah, I think with this group, as far as the D-line goes, we had like 12 guys that were playing and playing pretty well. There were about 10 that played like pretty much interchangeable, and those last two grew as the season came. Like Jimmy McHugh is a guy, but I think he started playing for the first time maybe this game. He ends up coming for a pretty big sack late in the game, so it's fun.
Stone's your little guy. You know you got some power in the backfield.
Snap high, handled, handoff Stone.
There you go. There you go.
I still got the same frustration now watching it. Man, need to keep my feet there. That should have been gone.
Caught a touchdown.
Bowling ball, man.
Yeah, you got that good balance too, man. You break a lot of tackles.
It didn't work out that time. You get a good one here later.
So Ryder Stone is
always felt that was one of the true signs of good running back is how many tackles they break. Yeah.
That's always what's fun to watch. That was great.
He didn't make the catch.
Oh man.
Probably as a flag comes in.
What a great effort.
Yeah, better number 2 for him.
At the time.
There's a flag in the back of the end zone, but there seemed to be a little bit of extra coming in from the wide receiver.
All right, figured it out.
Annihilated with penalties this drive, though. It was bad. A lot of confusion early on there, too. He saw some substitution errors and whatnot. And to call a timeout, I think.
He didn't get a great look, but I think they actually called that offensive pass interference on Thompson there.
Yeah, looks like it.
So, from 2nd and 8 at the 10, it is now.
It is interesting. Earlier in this drive, I think it was actually the first play after the interception, Jared Gerbino completed a pass. I think it was the first of his career at a play action. So I mean, that's just another element that the new offensive coordinator, Kevin Daft, brought in here. And it's got to be so tough to defend. There goes Hagdorn. Nice pick.
It's even better is I think that pass might have been to Vito, if I'm not mistaken, and they were both two tight end quarterback types that we couldn't quite figure out what to do with early on. He saw Coach Clark get fired up when he got the ball and made a couple good hits, a couple of, Midwest people.
Yeah.
Easily the biggest.
Plus, he had recruited them, so you're always pulling for those guys you recruit,
That's hilarious. Ryder, I feel like.
Oh, nice block. Nice block, Ryder.
There we go. Oh, man.
Ryder, I feel like this year there were a couple of people that got a few reps, but I think you were probably one of the only guys that had played a lot and played a couple of years going into the season. Did that feel different as far as like being a senior leader, I guess, and having a team that maybe hadn't seen as much action?
Yeah, for sure. I know one thing that I saw they talked about in the game last week was just how young we were the year before and how that was QBJ's first season and everything. And really, actually, Steven Johnson, you can see here, me and him were really the only freshmen out of our class that have played. Oh, here's a fake. I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite work out though. But yeah, no, we were pretty young. I think honestly, my junior year, your first year, it was rough. I mean, we had to work out some kinks and stuff. But I think coming into the senior season, we felt like a more cohesive unit and a lot more focused, and it was great to see. There was a lot of leadership, even from guys that hadn't seen a lot of playtime, but really kind of stepped up. And it was actually pretty surprising to see just how well guys that hadn't got a lot of playtime early on stepped in and filled those roles perfectly, just because I think there was such laser focus going in that season. And honestly, we were embarrassed last year, the year before, just with the way that the record and everything had turned out. And I think there was just that fire that kind of made up for that lack of experience in a sense too.
Sure, and I definitely think like you and Stevie J helped a lot, right? Like guys like George Strada, who hadn't played before and is a quiet dude, man, he was a killer. But having those older guys that are also like silent dogs, like you weren't going to say too much. Henry will say a lot, but man, he don't do a lot too. So.
Yeah, well, you got guys that, like Kai, that are just vocal enough too, but are always doing the right thing, and I think he really helped kind of push that focus and drive. And I mean, yeah, he's a great leader at QBJ. I mean, we just had really good people in leadership positions that wanted the best from the team, and I think that helped a lot.
For sure. Kai was all over the place for us too, and I think this game, he got hurt a year before versus UNH, which was the second game of the season.
I saw him play when it happened.
And so this was the second game of the season this year, and I remember we talked about it a little bit, but he overcame it, and he had a good year. So,
yeah, I remember. Well, Stetson game for me was the first game I came off an injury, and it's hard because I was in a boot I think a week or two before it started, and it's hard to be able to just turn it on after something like that and trust it.
For sure, I know, especially on defense. I think he was like a bicep injury, like a bicep pec pain.
Yeah, you're always reaching for a tackle, and it leaves you vulnerable. So to be able to trust something like that takes a lot of guts, and I mean, he did a great job.
And I think that's where Coach Dubs comes in. We do so much tackling drills. You're not supposed to put out that stop sign. And I think there are a few times we get away with it. And that might be the privilege of FCS, or not Power 5 football, right? Like you put that stop sign out on an SEC guy, you might not have that armor. But here, every once in a while, you might get away with it, but not all the time. But we did a lot of tackling drills, and I for sure was not the best tackler, but after 4 years, they got me right.
Coach got you right. Yeah, you weren't working that at Hales. Hales Franciscan, man. Yeah.
I was like 215, soaking wet.
I remember I first saw your first video of you, man. I said, "Ooh, I got to go figure out who this guy is."
I appreciate it, for sure. For sure. I think
you got a great family, great mom. That was what a sweetheart.
Yeah, I think this is a small note, but definitely something special about Dartmouth was the recruiting process with you guys. Felt very different for me than all the other schools. I mean, right away, from you were consistently talking to me and made me feel like I knew you well. And I think Coach Stevens came down to the school and he asked everybody about me, and I really appreciate it. Like, he went up to the lunch lady and he wanted to know how she felt about me. He went up to security around the school and asked them, the principal. And it definitely stuck out. And as far as you guys wanted my football career to go as far as I wanted to, but you also asked me what I wanted to do afterwards. And I remember I talked to, somewhere between 7 to 15 schools with a couple scholarships here and there. But Coach Stevens was the only person from the head coach point that asked me what I wanted to do after football. And that definitely meant a huge amount for me and my family.
I mean, okay, all the way out. All right, that was a run.
There you go.
Did you heard the story last week? He flew all the way out to Canada to come see me, and he got lost in the Canada.
That's crazy.
And he couldn't get a hold of me. He didn't have any service. Oh man. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. But they really do go the extra mile when it comes to recruiting, and they genuinely care. That was the biggest thing for me. What sold me is just like nobody else was going to fly out to Canada to come visit my family, but sure enough. thought he had it.
They needed a yard. They get
One
close
step
to
away
50,
there.
and it moves the chains.
Nice job on the
Big
bull
first down
block
pick
there.
by
Who's
Hennig
that?
slash quarterback, and now Hennigan checks
Is that
back
Vito?
for
That's
Dartmouth.
Vito.
I think it might have been.
39, right?
10-7.
Yeah, you know, the thing that I love about you guys is how you all became so close and pulled for each other. And you guys are fun. No, nice move. Nice move.
Great run.
That was
Yeah.
a good tackle by him.
I think
Dartmouth faking that jet
just
sweep.
by the nature of everybody
Coming
being
around.
such tough
Sometimes
competitors,
they
from
jump, sometimes
Jandy
hanging
to
on
Vito to
It's freezing the
Jabina,
whole
Ryder,
across the
like
fence.
it didn't matter where they were
And
playing over the
managed
field. We
Vito
had some of the most
taking
competitive
advantage
guys
of
I've
the
ever
gaps
met in
and
my
getting
life,
big chunks of
and I
yardage.
think that
By
definitely
using
helped us
Estrada
bond
twice
as a
on the
unit.
previous drive, that's what's keeping Holy
Everybody was
Cross's
working.
defense
Nobody really
honest.
took a play off, and that's why it made a
Very
big
well
difference.
give it off
Because
to this
I
sophomore
mean, nobody
striker who hadn't been
was too
used
good
yet.
for blocking either, and that's something that I love to see in an offense.
Formation. Miles Smith flips from right to left next to him. It's 2nd and 3. The 48. The snap is away. Hennigan fakes, goes
Little
up
draw
the middle.
action.
He gets
Oh,
some
QB
space.
Joe.
That's a rough hit.
Yeah, that's not good.
Down first. Holy Cross celebrating as if it's a
I saw him last week talking about one of those where he probably should have slid, and that's the one.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Holy Cross football.
He turned out to be a great runner. Like, you know, it might not always have looked the prettiest, but he definitely got his yards for us.
Sure, he got the job done.
Yeah, he definitely got better as the year went on.
Perfect form
Ooh.
tackle. They don't have instant replay in the Ivy League, but it wouldn't matter. It was a fumble.
Yeah, we don't like him going one-on-one with the linebackers that much. Good field position for him. This is like,
a second player that streaked in to rip the
here
ball.
they go. They're going to go deep on us.
Yeah, especially at the pace they're keeping, getting the ball at the 50 is huge. So, let's see.
Trainer loves to come up and fake like he's going to blitz, you know. Oh!
Jackson Perry just got a big hit on that play right there.
By Andre Hart.
I thought Jarius was going to take this one to the house when they first threw it.
Covering him, almost had a pick six.
He had a pick six at Fenway, didn't he?
He did.
Came just
He
short.
did.
Getting the hand
Oh,
on
that
the
dude
ball.
can fly now. We just didn't get him to, you know, he didn't get enough picks, but he can fly.
Been active in the backfield so far tonight. 2nd and 5 inside 6 minutes to go. Handoff.
There you go.
45, 2 yards.
I think Miley and Trainer both had really good games in this game. They were everywhere. You know, those two guys were. It was interesting because they had played the same position the year before and had to alternate at times. And now I split them up this year, and just watching those two learn how to play together and develop, you know, confidence in each other. It was fun, and then you had two guys that could fly out there.
Yeah, for sure. I think they both were like 90 tackle dudes this year.
Cross comes in, touting
So they definitely helped us up front in the spots.
3rd and 3 at the 43. The snap to Puyol.
Rocco DeLeo is another dude. Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah.
He gets to going.
Yeah.
And you talk about running down the football field. Like, he's a guy you just watch, you know, on Sundays we're reviewing tape. You just see him coming out of nowhere, making the tackle 15 yards downfield whenever we messed up. So he's definitely a huge talent.
When you and Rocco played against each other in high school, didn't you?
We did, and he'll never let me forget it. We actually, my senior year, went into double overtime, and I'm pretty sure he threw a completion to win the game. And he's probably threw the ball 6 times the whole game. He had an All-American rugby player playing running back who helped a lot, but he'll say he won the game, and I guess I'll give him credit for it.
Beat the Holy Cross O lineman that play.
Yeah, he just was a quarterback as a junior and a defensive end as a senior.
Yeah, freaking quarterback. He was, I mean, he's still a big ball end. Whatever. He beat me though. It was fun. It's definitely fun. We talked about it a lot in the room. And Rocco's a dude. When you get him excited, he gets going. Once he gets angry, he's just a ball of fury. So it's always fun poking pride.
10-7. Tompkins nearly jumps offside. The snap is away, no flag. Pujols dances back at the mid.
A lot of time.
Go get him. Oh, great job. Great job.
Is that who is?
I think that was Isaiah Swan.
Yeah, it was Swanee.
Good
Big
team
Moen
defense
getting
by the
around,
big
making some plays too.
Julio's getting outside contain again.
He was another one that people didn't understand how big that dude was.
Corner stayed
I
with
mean,
their
he was
man.
like, what, 6'4", 250 at this
4
point?
minutes to go before halftime. 3-point lead for
Yeah, he's
Dartmouth.
big. he was kind of a hybrid guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
To the right.
Jake the Snake.
Marks for the football. He gets it. Pujols steps up in the pocket.
Go
might
get
take
him.
Off. Now he drops a pass.
Ah.
Caught Blaze Bell. No one covering him
Come
inside the
on.
20 to the 15. Big hit,
That's
but
tough.
only after a
That dude made a lot of plays for him.
down to the 13.
Yeah, I think my man got
Pickup of 26
overplayed the outside move there, you know. I think Eric might have overplayed the outside
And
move.
Dartmouth went after him and left Blaze
TJ,
Bell
stay up.
completely uncovered.
And I think the reason
Ah.
that left Blaze Bell totally uncover is DJ.
That's the wrong guy to leave alone.
Right knee.
Okay,
Non-contact
pretty good field
situation
position
for
again.
Avery as he goes down.
Here's the
He
replay.
hobbles off. And at the back
It's
end
tough
of
because
that
you guys,
play,
after
you see
that
Avery
fake field goal didn't go your way, that was a 3-and-out you
Blaze
forced.
Bell was wide
Got the
open,
ball
and
right
so
back.
Avery
So
limps
that's
off.
obviously exactly what your offense
Yeah,
wants. But
Wayne,
here you got a 3rd and 11. I mean, can't ask for much better. It's a good responsive defense, I guess I'll say. You guys seem to step up when you need to.
Try to tough it out again.
We take a lot of pride in
Trainers will let him.
talking about it doesn't matter where they get the ball. Our job is to stop them. So whether it's our 5 or their 5, that's what we, you know, live for. We live for those challenges.
Holy Cross. They trail by 3. Fake handoff. Pujols rolls right, dumps off, far sideline. Caught. Not a first down to pick up a.
And he does a great job of going from his first to his second to his third option. You know, that's one of the beauties or one of the tough things about playing against a seasoned quarterback is just how well they can work their progressions. And this guy was really, you know,
3:24 to
was
go.
really,
Half.
really good at
Dartmouth
that.
leads by 3. They need to hold Holy Cross to no more than a field goal right here.
7-yard line for Holy Cross. They can get a first down without a touchdown. Miles Alexander, the handoff, bounces right up the middle. Touchdown. Barely touched.
Yeah,
the defense as he sliced and diced his way to the end zone.
I gotta see that again just to make sure, but right there.
Lots of room there.
That's what happens when you get, you know, right up the right down the middle of a big offensive lineman. You know, we talk about all the time, you know, working half the man so that you put your body in your gap in that situation, you know, and he was just too much right down the middle on him, couldn't find the guy.
So extra point coming up. A.J. Wells awaits. The snap is good. The kick is up.
Okay, 14-10.
I saw you sneak through the middle there, Jeremiah. You got a right hand up there. There was you seem to get really good penetration on special teams. In fact, shout out Rick Bender, Sports Information. 5 blocked kicks in your career? That's outrageous. Maybe even more than that. I could be miscounting.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there. I think Coach McCorkle, like, blocking kicks was his thing. Any type of game breakers we could force on special teams, he promoted. But I think I kind of found a knack for it after we played Towson. I missed a sack on like 4th and 15. And the quarterback throws like a 35-yard bomb, 20-some seconds left. The game is like, I think if they had to kick the field goal, they would have won. And so I knew I had to block that field goal, but I might not ever hear about it again. So after blocking that, we kind of as a team all developed the knack for it. I think the big thing is once you block a kick, everybody's a little bit jittery out there. And that definitely came back in this game for that PAT at the end.
Yeah.
So again.
Scored an awful lot of points against.
Yeah, he had a great knack. The guys up front, Sammy does a great job with those guys, working, you know, the get through those little seams, and his arms are so long. How long are your arms, Jeremiah? I mean, you got some long arms.
Yeah, I think me and Nikki both were like 6'10" wingspans when they measured.
Yeah.
Worcester, Massachusetts route for Wilkinson.
But the ability, the timing they have is really the key component too. They do a great job of knowing when to get the hands up. You know, get good push and then get that hand up.
I think a big thing is like with field goals, PATs, there's an operation time, right? Like they want it to be consistent. whenever somebody's trying to do something consistent, they usually form habits. So if you pick up on those little bitty things, it'll help you jump the ball at the right time.
When I was playing for Dartmouth, he was known for recruiting from all over the country, and now it's the norm in the Ivy League.
Hannigan, first snap, hand off, Ryder Stone,
good
nowhere to
there.
go up the middle,
Not much
maybe a
happening.
yard, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Giving it forward
Asky
progress.
falling on the pal. That was a big boy right there.
Yeah.
3 minutes to go. They got 2 timeouts.
Never love when
left.
that happens.
Just try and run out the clock.
Yeah, I thought Jack had kept it on that one. I had to look twice.
Try and get something
You know?
out there.
They trailed
Almost
for the
wish he
first
did.
time tonight. 13-10, Holy Cross with the lead after their touchdown by
That's
Miles Alexander.
They always look good when
Backfield, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Drops
when they
back.
carry. Oh,
Way to get the ball off.
boy, that's a great throw. Wow.
He wasn't afraid to take a hit.
Goes down to the turf to grab it.
No, he's a
Good job by
tough
A lot
hombre.
of pressure. Got hit
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
hard just as he released it.
That's it. It was fun playing with him in the backfield. He's also so calm and collected. Him and I joked all the time in the backfield just before plays. Like I remember, because this season we had so many close games that were just like right by the skin of our teeth, and we just kind of look at each other and like, well, I guess we should go win this. Oh man, I just missed a block so bad. I hope they don't show the replay.
All said and done, have potential, but he got what he could out of it. And they approach midfield.
I can already hear
It's now
Coach
2nd
Clark.
and 7.
Yeah, he's kind of quiet on the sideline.
They're going to give him close to the 41-yard line. So 2nd and about 6
Man, it
for
used to be
Dartmouth.
hilarious when
2
Coach
minutes
Clark comes
exactly
down
to
from
go
the
in this
box,
first half.
starts
4-point
yelling at people.
deficit.
Woo!
Yeah.
We hear him on the defensive side. We're like maybe 15, 20 yards away.
The snap away in his hands. He
Oh
stands
yeah,
right
I'll
flat
never
to the
forget to
side.
stay on the inside hip of the pulling guard.
Threads his way to the 50, piled up by a couple of defenders.
You learned that, huh?
Oh yeah, I learned it the hard way too.
Nice job by Thompson faking to go out after he caught the ball.
And Coach Clark always says, take a part of your own rescue. And I think that was something we definitely always kind of had to do, especially in this season, because we were fighting to the end in almost every game.
3 to the left, 2 to the right.
Yeah, I think
30 to go in this first.
I think everybody we're a few years older after this one. This whole season, everything was stressful. We just couldn't get just a clean, easy win for the longest time.
But we definitely knew how to fight, man.
That's for sure. Yeah, I mean it gave us so much confidence too. It didn't matter how much we were down by the end of the season. We just knew we could do it because we'd been there before.
Balls at the 46-yard
Hey,
line after a 4-yard.
Nothing like experience and confidence, you know, believing in each other.
Oh, great job.
Yeah.
Boy,
A little bit of yak yardage there. That was nice.
he fights for every yard, every inch.
Here it is on the replay.
Oh,
Right
when
there,
Emery got the ball,
stop,
he was just fun to
speed
watch.
drive, gets the first
I mean,
down, stops the
there's
clock,
4
gets the
extra
play.
yards right there.
Emery Thompson.
Blew up Mike McCaffrey.
I think Emery's starting law school now, maybe in D.C.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, nice. Oh,
Man, caught me off guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
The worst outcome for Dartmouth.
it looked like he was thinking he was going to take off, then all of a sudden they closed in on him. So,
Well, and I turned around and started running before I had the ball. That's a rookie move there.
well, we got 41 seconds here. Let's see if we can finish this baby.
Make the connection.
4 down linemen for Holy Cross. They're in the all whites. Dartmouth in the all blacks. Balls at the 36-yard line. Hannigan drops back, fires over the top. Dylan Miller handed after incomplete down to the
Oh,
that was a good throw.
Yeah, it's Meller there.
3rd and 10 with 36 seconds to go before half.
Another good receiver.
Nice throw. Just
Yeah, he didn't drop too many of those.
Yeah, he usually came up really clutch. Oh, he had some great hands.
Great
I think
hands.
he's in med school now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is he?
This
Yeah.
might be 4 down territory.
Who's
for
that?
Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Meller?
They're not quite
Oh, yeah.
And Holy Cross wouldn't have enough time really to get anything going to end the half. 36 seconds to go. Empty backfield. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Hannigan drops back, gets the snap.
A lot more empty backfield than I remember. Here he goes. Here he goes. Get out of bounds.
Yeah. QBJ.
There you go.
Yeah, Daff really liked utilizing the empty backfield every now and then. I wasn't personally too partial to it, but it was effective.
Still,
Especially when you have Gerbino too. I mean, you just have a permanent Wildcat formation.
Yeah.
yeah.
This 42 yards.
Man, I really don't remember being down at halftime this game. That's so weird.
Ryder Stone, the running back in the backfield. Snap away. Hannigan Looks left, fires left, caught.
Oh, he's picking them apart right now. I mean, everything's right on the money.
Great clock work, too.
Yeah, whether it's 5 catches from Honeycutt.
We just called a timeout there.
Okay.
6 different guys have carried
But
Stone, Smith,
thanks to the magic of video editing and our producer, Ben Myers, we're right back on the ball. Thank you, Ben.
Good job, Ben.
The ball in the left hash. It's at the 16-yard line. They need a yard for a first. 21 seconds to go in the half, though. 14-10 Holy Cross. Hannigan drops back, stares across the middle, fires, caught. Honeycutt.
There we go.
Oh, he's tackled just shy of the goal line.
Great catch.
Great catch, Honeycutt.
It looks like this one's coming back.
Oh, is that on us?
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, that's right. Couldn't catch a break going in the second half.
I feel like the only thing that was going to stop you on that drive was a penalty.
Yeah.
I think this year, and maybe this is a part of our youth as a team, we got too many penalties to be proud of for sure. Like, I think that's something they got better on in those next 2 seasons, like especially this last season where they won the Ivy. We got a lot of for no reason.
Good job getting out of bounds there, Ryder.
I'm glad we're watching this game and not the UPenn game the next week, because I got a pretty interesting penalty. So I'm glad.
Well, I know it killed me watching that UNH game last week, seeing the fumble after I had like a 64-yard run or something. I had like a broken thumb that game, and I remember thinking before the game I shouldn't put it in my right hand, but I tried it anyways.
Weren't you wearing that like plastic?
I like that thing. Yeah. But I remember talking to my coach. He's like, "Yeah, if they punch it out, it should just go out to the sideline," and that didn't happen.
So far,
it still haunts me.
It'll be officially 36 yards. The snap is away. The hold is good. The kick
Get in there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Smitty. Nice job, man. Way to get it done.
That's at the buzzer of the second quarter, guys. So we head to the locker room. Dartmouth only down by 1. It's a classic rewind. You figure it's going to be a good game, and that's what we have after 2 quarters on the Woods Watch Party Week 2.
Hi, I'm Chelsea from WISE. I'm at home practicing social distancing just like all of you. For almost 50 years, WISE has supported survivors in times of stress and crisis. Even during these unusual and uncertain times, we are still here for you and your loved ones. On those inevitably hard days or moments when you're not feeling particularly strong, we are here for you every hour, every day. While it feels like everything in our world has come to a halt, violence doesn't stop just because there's a virus. Call 866-348-9473, and to chat with us online, visit our website, wiseuv.org. Call 866-348-9473. You are not alone, and you don't have to be in a crisis to call.
We're back from the halftime break on the Woods Watch Party Week 2. It is a 1-point lead for Holy Cross on Dartmouth, but the Big Green will get the ball to start the second half. And Ryder, we'll go right to you. The third quarter in the 2016 season was a bit of a struggle, but right away, week 1 at Stetson came out firing. Here, of course, you have to feel good about your chances. Any recollection of what happened in the locker room at halftime during this game?
Yeah, I think a lot of it was just settling into a rhythm more than anything. I mean, we obviously made our halftime adjustments and always had some good halftime speeches and everything, but I think it just, we had a tendency to work out the kinks in the first half, and that was always kind of what happened, and we came back settled in and confident in the third quarter, and it really showed with QBJ. I mean, he does a great job of just keeping composed, and you just feel comfortable going into the third quarter after halftime. Like, he was pretty good about coming around to guys, just checking in, seeing what was going on, and I think we just always kind of found our stride because, we got worked out the jitters and the kinks more than anything.
And if you're just joining us, for the uninitiated, including me before the broadcast started, QBJ, I've learned, is Jack Hennigan.
Right.
And he had a touchdown in the first quarter to Emery Thompson to get things started. And he'll hand off to you here, Ryder. And I believe this is where the radio broadcast, Wayne Young says that's a classic Ryder Stone run. Didn't look like much, but you force your way through to get a couple. And just watching you here in your successful career, coming from Calgary, can you tell us about how tough it was to get noticed and your recruiting story, how Dartmouth discovered you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is tough being a Canadian player. A lot of things, like I remember being a senior in high school in Canada trying to send my tape around, and people just wouldn't take it seriously. Oof. Jack took a good sack there, but yeah, I think, it was definitely hard to prove myself a little bit, and so I actually ended up taking a post-grad year at Phillips Andover in Massachusetts, and that was a really pivotal moment for me. I mean, I had a breakout year there, and was player of the league there kind of thing, and we won the championship, went undefeated. So a very successful season there, and kind of gained some exposure thanks to Coach Whalen, who's actually the head baseball coach. I played with his son at Andover, and he sent my tape over to Coach T and kind of gave him a little nudge saying, hey, you should go, give a look to this guy. And they apparently liked it enough and gave me a shot, but I think I was the second to last. It was me and Rocco Rocco DeLeo were the last couple guys that got squeaked in with an offer. And it was just kind of it was very serendipitous, I guess you could say.
The snap was from the 13.
Well, we decided with that name that we had to have you. That's a classic football name. How could you not recruit that name, Yeah. And then Rocco DeLeo, him and his dad jumping in a car, driving 18 hours just to see the place for about 3 hours, and then jumping in the car. And I remember Big Frank, his dad, saying, you guys really interested in my son? I said, yeah, we are. I said, we think we're going to have a player someday. He goes, all right, we'll be there tomorrow. I said, you'll be here tomorrow? Sure. They were there the next day.
Wow. Sounds about right.
Big Frank, a lot of great stories. But that's why we got so many lovable characters in the team.
Luke is playing now for the team, right?
Yeah, Luke is with us now.
The Leos are taking over.
Man, Rocco perfected that spin move, man. We used to,
my God.
The spin, got a lot of trash talk if it didn't work, because it usually put you way out of where you were supposed to be standing. But Rocco got away with it. He was pretty good. A bunch of sets.
Jack Trainer on the tackle.
That was a great job there by Nicky Tompkins and Jack Trainer. I mean, Nicky just did a great job sitting down there, playing the quarterback and the outside zone, and then running the line of scrimmage. That's what you love to see as a coach, the great fundamentals, the great techniques. Our guys really take a lot of pride in being really good at doing the little things right.
Nicky was the guy, in our year. While I may have been captain of the football team, we'd always say he was definitely captain of the dog pound. He always got us going. Oh, here's Jimmy McHugh's sack.
Here's Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Wait.
Yeah, Jimmy.
He beats his cut block.
Morristown, New Jersey.
Oh, yeah. Shout out for those pretzels.
Pretzel, man. And the hot mustard sauce.
It was a sack.
Yeah.
He does it again.
Yeah.
Here. The first contribution of the night for him forces Holy Cross to have to punt.
That was a great series. Great series. We like those threes and out, Tyler. That's.
And I keep hearing these big names. I started broadcasting for Dartmouth 2018. So, I mean, when I see Jack Trainer and Isaiah Swan out here, Jackson Perry in their young careers, I'm a little starstruck, to be honest. And Jeremiah, to be the captain, one of the captains on the defense among all those elite names, including you, I mean, walk us through the process of being selected, and, of course, what an honor it must be.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely a humble honor. So basically our team has a vote sometime in the spring who we want to select as captains. As you mentioned before, I was somebody that was injured a lot for our team, but I also was someone that was always doing the right thing to start off. I had my bumps along the way. And I think the team seeing my transition to a leadership role on our team helped a lot. And so after a vote by the team, the coaches get together, and then during the spring game, they announce who the captains are. But I think this year, in particular, this 2017 team, anybody could have been captains in that senior class. I mean, we had dudes all over the place. Ryder, for example, Colin Boyd, like there were tons of dudes who could lead. And so while Kai, Jack, and I were the captains, everybody kind of had their leadership roles. Like I think we were captained by committee for sure. If you felt you had a point to make, and those dudes were talented enough and worked hard enough, like Colin Boyd was always in the weight room, always doing the right things. Ryder was always in the weight room, always doing the right things. Like even Emery, like all these guys all around, it didn't matter who was there. Everybody trusted each other, and I think that went a long way. And so for that group to feel that I was, stable enough and willing enough to be a leader for them, it meant a lot. Sure.
It definitely speaks volumes. And I mean, we even had a leadership group. We had a committee that met every week with Coach Stevens, just because we had a lot of leaders in the room, and to, have somebody like JD to be able to lead the defense and just be a voice. Like he was a great leader too. Like our three captains were super powerful in that sense. Like they did a great job of leading the team, but also knowing how to lead together with everybody. And everybody did have a voice because we did have a lot of driven and focused people. It was a pretty unique group in that sense, I think.
Absolutely. I think, man, these dudes, all these dudes we play with, these are the leaders of tomorrow as far as I'm concerned. So incredible, to say the least, to just listen to them. Even the young guys like Hagdorn did a great job being a leader on our team. So it made it easy, for sure. Right? No one was ever satisfied. And that's something that can always be a problem with a football team that's playing every week. If you start to get comfortable, a little lax, you don't have that bye week to kind of get yourself back together, you'll miss something. And so having dudes that always pointed to that up next mentality, next rep, it helped.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about that as a staff, and the other thing that if you don't have one of the captains in your meeting room as a position coach, you're really looking to some of the other juniors and seniors to be leaders too. And that's, I think, what you found with the D-line with, Jeremiah and then, the guys like Tompkins and Cascarano and Charlie Pontarelli, and then, you look at Ryder with the running backs, and then you got Emery in the wide. So you always want somebody in your room that, even though they may not be the captain, they're still a great leader. And that's one of the things I think our staff and our players have taken a lot of pride in, that, you start by leading yourself, and then once you learn how to do that, then you can start leading other people.
12-yard pickup for Hennigan, which makes it third and manageable, about 8 yards.
Jeremiah, you mentioned you're someone who seemed to always be doing the right thing, and sounds like that's continuing after your playing career. We know you're working in the hospital at UChicago. You're applying to medical school, and that's even back to your player bio when you first get to Dartmouth and they say, what are your interests? What are you trying to do? And I remember reading that you were trying to help underserved communities, and it feels like you're already on your way.
Yeah, it's definitely been a blessing. I think my time in Dartmouth, I found my interest in volunteering and working with communities that may not always have the best resources, and being back home, like taking the skills I learned there, coming back home. I work as an emergency room tech, so I do a lot of stuff with like our traumas, patients that might be having a heart attack or stroke and different things like that. And it's an excellent opportunity to help, right? Like whatever it is, especially during these COVID times where tomorrow isn't as promised as it used to seem. It's been a blessing and honor, for sure.
It seems like you and Ryder, and it's almost something unique about the Dartmouth student-athlete experience, where you can grind on the field, do it in the classroom, and you guys are set up terrifically for the future. Ryder, I know you were talking about this during our halftime break a bit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know JD was always involved in the community at Dartmouth and had a lot of extracurriculars going on. I always saw him doing all kinds of different things and myself too. I was able to, I actually graduated early, and I paid my way through college. So I was always working 4 or 5 jobs and was involved with a couple things here or there. I was a UGA for a term or two, and was always busy. Always kept busy. But with Dartmouth, you have that flexibility. I mean, we still work hard on the football field. Don't get me wrong, like in the weight room just as much as anybody else. But with the D plan and stuff, it really gives you that flexibility. Like I stayed on for summer terms when I needed to graduate early to pursue a professional football career, and so it really gave that flexibility, and was still able to walk away with a degree in environmental studies, where I'm really passionate about and hope to get involved in kind of the finance side of that, which is what I'm working on now.
Hey, he's always doing something. He's always fixing a bike, or I mean, talk about a man with a lot of energy. Come on, get there, get that, get that.
Come on.
Back him down. Nice. Nice. And even there is those kind of things, you know, I don't mind if they scramble. To me, it gives us another chance to track them down and get a couple pops on them. And you know, with the way 56 and 51, those two cats could run. And, you know, these 4 guys in front of them, it was always fun when these 4 guys were out there together.
Yeah, man, this was a special group, like all the way to the back end, but the D-line was insane. Charlie Ponarelli is a dude who his name might have not came up as much as it should have, but boy, best believe he's probably the best D-lineman we had. I mean, he can get after it. So.
He was strong too. He just bullied people sometimes. It was crazy, but yeah, I wasn't lying when I said I'm happy I never had to go against y'all. It was a force to be reckoned with, and so much depth too.
Well, him and Bullhouse went to the same high school, so that was always and there. I think there was always at least one offensive lineman at Holy Cross from Loyola that he had gone to high school with.
It was the center, I think.
Yeah, Murray or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets maybe a yard on first down. Yep, they give him a yard, 2nd and 9.
What do you look for, Coach, when you recruit linebackers? I know your title also includes a linebackers coach, and there have been some impressive ones. Ivy League Players of the Year, Jack Trainer, many others. What do you look for specifically, or is it just, okay, this kid has raw potential, let's see what we can do with him?
You know what? We have had quite a legacy, and one of the things that I believe in is first they got to love the game, and if you look at going way back to my first couple guys like Bronson Green and Mike Runger, and then leading up to, you know, Willie Mack and Slavsky and Wickham, and I'm sure I'm probably missing somebody right now. But then you got, you know, Trainer and Miley and Moen and Emanuels. Is just a great love for the game and a great love to prepare to be great. And people are always asking me, why do you always put down prepare to be the best? Because to me, that's an attitude, that's an approach. And if you attack every day like that with that mindset, then you're not going to let anything stop you from becoming great. But these guys, they're not the biggest, but their game instincts. I'm always looking for football IQ, toughness. And when I watch tape, I always work from the feet up. And then when I meet them, I always work from the head down, is how I look at it, just to get a feel for, are these our kind of guys? And, that's not good. I remember this was the longest play of the game.
Oh, man.
I know he's fun.
That was a good fake.
That was a good fake.
Really good fake.
Somebody forgot to keep on coming.
we kept eyes in the backfield from then on. We didn't miss that for the rest of the season. Especially after Coach McCorkle got onto it.
He was hot.
He gets riled up too.
Yeah, but I feel it's pretty neat that I've had to coach, the opportunity to coach some great ones, and the fact that, you know, Flo was the first Dartmouth Defensive Player of the Year in Dartmouth's Ivy League football career. I thought that was pretty neat. I thought Willie Mack should have been it.
Willie Mack.
Or I think we just had so many good guys on defense, they could have gave it to about 3 guys on that 2015 defense, so they decided to give it to the guy from Penn because he had a couple sacks one game or something like that. You can tell I'm still a little upset about that. I don't like when my guys get ripped off. So.
The McGrail run officially goes for only 19 yards, but
it starts with those guys up front. They do a great job of setting the tone for us. Great job.
So, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, I think with that 2015 team, right, we had Willie Mack at linebacker, but man, Cody and Zoo up front, AJ Zuta, oh my goodness. It was just different football back then.
Yeah.
Now we play, 10 D linemen, but back then, Cody and AJ could take 60, 70 snaps, and they'd be in the backfield for half of it. It's crazy to watch.
The big green on a night where a really nice crowd has
turned
out here at Memorial Field in Hanover.
21 still here.
This is a theme I keep noticing, guys, from this defense. That fake punt. Maybe a lot of other teams hang their heads, and you've got them 3rd and long right away.
Yeah.
So no momentum swing. At least it doesn't seem that way for Holy Cross.
Here's a nice second contain. Great hit. Great hit.
Good hit by Trainer on the quarterback.
Yeah, I feel like the team that has a quarterback that can throw like this, right, like they're always kind of still in it.
Big cheer by the Dartmouth fans, acknowledging some really.
Well, he's a really resilient kid, but that's like another turnover for you almost here when they get that kind of field position. You come back in the next 3 plays, it's 3 and out. I mean, I thought that was one of the big, huge turning points that really kept us in the game. Field position isn't great though, so that's the thing that really hurts is now the offense gets it at the 12-yard line. That's the tough part of that fake there.
Holy Cross, the number 25 team in the country with a 14-13 lead.
You were talking before we came on the air, Jeremiah. You were complimenting Coach Dobbs about his last few defenses, this Ivy League championship team from a season ago. This defense we're watching here kind of set the standard for the next few years. It almost feels like you guys take a lot of pride in being the pioneers, I guess I'll say, of what's been a dynastic defensive stretch.
Yeah, it definitely is a blessing. I would love for us to take all the credit, but I think that 2015 team definitely taught us, that class, the 2018 class, a lot about football, but it was definitely an opportunity after the season before to kind of set our own standard. And it was just really cool to watch these guys grow. And I think starting this season, every year the next guy's up just seemed better every year. It's Dartmouth football, like that's what we always preach. That's what Coach T talks about. The next guy's just bringing it up one more level, and they've definitely done it. So it's cool to be a part of that process.
Yeah, I think you're very accurate, Tyler, with that 2015 defense, and a lot of these guys were younger guys with them and had a chance to learn how to prepare and how to practice and what we were all about. But the neat thing was they just kept on working to get better and better, and it was the baton was just passed down that, hey, this is how we play defense. And, even the 2016 team, you look at the 4 victories, 3 of them are, out of conference games, and we lose a bunch of close games in the Ivy League, and I know it was tough on Flo and everything because, he took so much pride in being the captain and that defense and everything, but all these guys learned, and that's what happened in 18 and 19 is they played under these guys. So these guys deserve a lot of credit, and that's what I tell these guys, man. They're the reason why we've been so good the last 2-3 years.
Special teams helps too.
Yeah, it does.
Danny always shows up at the right time. Like if you watch any game he's played in, he's going to be there right when you need.
We needed that after that 3-and-out too. That was pretty lackluster on the offensive end. We got jammed up on the inside.
Yeah, we got that field position changed now.
Football playing brothers for Dartmouth. Here it is on the replay. There's the fair catch signal.
Okay.
Boone Stratton. He was another dude. I think he was all live one year.
Yeah, Bun. Yeah. Yeah, what a beautiful person he is, isn't he?
Oh, man.
Talk about a guy that always had a smile on his face.
Right, brighten up a room. Hawaii. That's where he said he was from. He's from Hawaii, but they always called it Hawaii.
Nice job by.
Yeah, who got to make that recruiting trip? That's what I want to know.
Ball to 47-yard line for
There's a bunch of guys. Actually, they went out there, I want to say their freshman year. Back then, they were big on making YouTube videos on it. So it's somewhere out there in the universe.
3 yards across the 45 down to the 44.
Yeah, the head man gets to go on those trips. And every once in a while, Coach Brooks will take it. And, you know, so, but
Edza comes out, Estrada comes out.
hey, he was interested because I think his dad was played at UNH or was a UNH grad. So he was somebody that, you know, his I think his mom was from the islands. His dad was from the East Coast, and obviously he was raised in the islands. Here you go, baby.
Oh, there it is.
There goes that man.
There it is. Woo!
Hey.
That feels good. We needed that.
Great burst, man. Wow. That's that second gear there, dude. Here it is. Okay. Was it power?
No, this is outside
zone.
Yeah, I think it was just outside zone.
Oh, great job by 89.
89, yeah. Stevie J had a great block there.
Hey, wow. Great job.
The senior from Calgary.
Oh, sweet.
Beautiful.
Probably the biggest
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, there was great blocking. We had good movement off the line there. There was just a perfect crease. I remember how excited I got when I saw that.
The kick is good with 45 seconds to go.
Nice. Nice.
We needed that momentum shift. That was big time. Thanks to Danny for getting that ball back.
This is also a big point in the game, too, is extra kick. Because we could have went for 2 there. And if we'd have went for 2, right, if they had made that PAT at the end, it would have been a tie game. But if we didn't get it, that touchdown would have lost us the game later on here. So
yeah, that's right.
I'm glad we kicked the PAT.
Wow, way to hit it. Woo. Look at the sideline going nuts. I love it. Love it. Good juice there. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Did you need that stiff arm on 17, or was that just a little extra for you?
Well, a little extra. You know, I've learned my lesson too many times, not trusting my speed and trying to get somebody off of me instead of trying to run. So there was some indecision. Just decided to go for it after. I was like, I learned my lesson here. I should just keep running.
So 44 yards, that winds up being your longest run of the season. Your career long is 60+, and you went over 1,000 yards for your career with that touchdown. It's tough to write a better script than that.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. And it's funny, my longest run was in my freshman year against Brown. That was a good 3-touchdown game. Came in the second half, kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Feels good to be able to hit that 1,000-yard marker, obviously, too.
Yeah, that's a great milestone. Great milestone. Put you up there with a lot of the great ones, you know.
There's some good names up there, that's for sure. Get your Doms and Schwiegers and,
I mean, there's not too many quarterbacks who can make that throw in the FCS. I mean, that's hash to sideline on a rope.
Ball at the 26.
But, our thought process here is make them earn everything, keep on changing up the looks and keep on making them work.
20 in a game that they led at halftime by multiple scores. And they knocked off Bucknell.
This team scored 51 points the week before against the top 10 team in UNH. So got to feel pretty good after 3 quarters. There's only 2 scores on the board for Holy Cross.
Yeah. I see Nigel's getting a little action here.
Yeah, I saw that too. The sophomore.
Yeah.
Quite close to a first.
Yeah.
Those ankle socks. I don't know how you wear ankle socks in the box, but I guess some people can do it.
Nigel, yeah.
The call that it was a catch in bounds.
That's hilarious.
There he is.
10 seconds to go in the quarter. Holy Cross could sit
He played good and he looked good.
A pitch near side left.
Got too far up the field there, JD, didn't he? Mowing. A little bit too far up the field.
Yeah.
Alexander, and that takes
cost
us
us
to
a
the end of the third, but
A little
only
bit.
before Holy Cross
Final
picks up
play of the third quarter. So Ryder Stone gets into the end zone. He gets into the Dartmouth record books, and he's put the Big Green up after 3 quarters. The fourth and maybe final frame is coming up next. Stick around.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local CAT dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. For a limited time at Milton CAT, get 0% for 60 months on select new CAT compact equipment.
As a trusted choice firm, the Richards Group has been committed to local communities for decades. We take the time to get to know our clients, their needs, and budget. We're independent, so we work for you, not an insurance company.
We use our expertise to find our clients the best home, auto, and business coverage at the most competitive price.
Our team provides consulting services for employee benefits, retirement plans, human resources, and leadership development.
The Richards Group. Prepare for tomorrow by contacting us today.
It's been a good one so far as we head to the fourth quarter in week 2 of the Woods Watch Party. A tight one between Dartmouth and Holy Cross, and here we go for the final 15 minutes of regulation. And this must be the time of game, Coach Dobes, where you're glad you put together a good conditioning program in the off season, or at least this is when it's really going to be tested, because the week before against Stetson, that game was in hand pretty early.
Yeah, so, a big shout out goes to, Spencer Brown and his staff, and what a great job they do with preparing our guys and preparing them for all these different situations. They do a fantastic job. A lot also goes into the fact that we play so many guys, so that you're still going to see a team flying around doing the right things in the fourth quarter and overtime. We got a tradition on defense where we finish each practice with kind of a session where we mentally challenge each other and to be great in these type of situations. And, we played 4 overtime quarters against Penn. I think it was 2013 or 14, and learned our lesson then that I always tell the guys, doesn't matter if it's 4 quarters or 4 overtime, we're still going to be hunting. We're still going to be playing our off, our butts off. So it's part of our mentality, and so that's how we train, and that's what we believe in.
Let them play,
In real time,
and I think the guys we can talk to about what a great job Spence and his staff does. I mean, both of these guys are great workers in that part of it. Their effort in the weight room is second to none, these two guys.
Certainly agree with you there.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely think Coach Brown helped a lot for me as far as altering some of the lifting program for my injuries. Right? Like, he did a great job helping me year to year, kind of build on what I needed to get back out there. So I appreciate him and the training staff.
Well, they do an exceptional job for sure. I mean, early on, I lifted the house. I loved getting under the squat rack and everything. But come my senior year, I did start having a little bit of injury bug and really had to kind of adapt my program. And they do a great job of really working with you and making sure that you're still getting strong and still progressing, but taking care of your body. And I mean, I think we had studies throughout our career just kind of looking at injury rates and conditioning and everything. And like once they started with the team, you just saw the improvement. I mean, we had a lot fewer injuries. Guys stayed healthy and were able to stay on the field longer. And it was just incredible to see that the hard work that Coach put in for our programming and stuff really paid off by the time we got out on the field.
So you developed your weightlifting, Ryder. Jeremiah, you mentioned earlier, it's a skill that I think a casual fan takes for granted, just tackling. You mentioned how far you came along on what sounds like a fundamental.
maybe a tough question to answer, but how exactly did you hone in on the tackling art itself? What was the difference for you as you progressed to kind of unlock that part of your game?
Oh, for sure. I guess, coming in, I was really trash at tackling. I don't know. That was just not something I knew how to do. But really, Coach Doves has all these circuits set up for us to do tackling, the bags. Coach T brought in the tackling dummy, which I wasn't a huge fan of, but just knowing how to, position myself, keep my hips low, and drive through the tackle. I think that made a huge difference. That was something I didn't understand at all when I was coming in, but by the time I was into this season, I really got a knack for it. It's just, you kind of keep churning, right? You don't want to stop once you get to the person. That goes a long way. And we also spend a lot of time focusing on where we want to position our head and our shoulders, and that it helped a lot.
Always fun to debate who is the better in the open field.
Yeah, the guys have taken to it. They've become good listeners, good learners, and we've broken the tackles down, and thanks to Buddy, and then our defensive staff has done a fabulous job of looking at every tackle over 2 years and really breaking them down and saying, okay, this is truly the art of tackling. Everybody talks about it in college football, but nobody's willing to spend as much time working the art of tackling as we do. And that's where people say to us, hey, you don't tackle, you're not this. But then they watch us play and say, wow, you guys are great tacklers. Your kids are tough. They fly to the ball. They got great energy. They take great angles. That's all things defensive staff and the head coach believe in, and we work the heck out of it. We're going to keep our guys healthy, but our belief is we're going to be fundamentally great, not good, great, and it shows up in close games.
They want to set the game clock
at 13:42 instead of
okay.
13:56.
Here we go.
And it is done.
Just like that, snap of the fingers, 14 seconds.
That was another good return by Danny.
2014 Dartmouth.
That gave us great field position. He had a couple really good plays here this game. He kind of came up clutch for sure.
Sharin gets to his left.
Yeah. Is that Matt?
Handoff fake. Turbino spins.
Yeah, it looked like
yeah. It was good to see him in the backfield there. That's one guy that'll break your ankles in a heartbeat.
That's a nice fake.
I think he got his first touchdown the week before, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he had a great run that game too. And I remember just watching him during practice all the time. It was like him putting on a clinic. His cuts were like nobody else I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
We were running the wrong way. He's already 20 yards downfield.
Yeah, he gave us a run for our money sometimes as a scout. He's got a nice height to him, so you don't necessarily see him behind those big linemen. So you gotta kind of keep up. Oh, Jack, go ahead.
Hey, look at those wheels.
People give him credit for. That's the other thing.
I don't think that was drawn up. I think that was actually supposed to be a pass to the running back, and I had one-on-one coverage, and he saw it, so he just took off behind me because the guy was running off. It was a great read on his part.
Looking like Kyler Murray out there.
My cousin Kyler. Now I hate to rain on the parade, but I believe they got the All-American Matt Caskey with a rare holding penalty. I didn't see it there on those two replays. But while we're talking about Caskey, Ryder, I mean, you ran behind him for years. I wonder what made him so good to stand out on the national scene for an offensive lineman.
I think it's his dancing skills, His feet. Oh, but in all seriousness, it really is his footwork. And he's got the body type, and that man, he can jump rope like nobody else I've ever seen. But
Good run.
Man, did you see that smile on Coach Dobbs? Coach Dobbs said earlier they root for the guys they recruit. Cassie,
that's a Chicago guy right there. Oh, man. He had a pretty good video with the Panthers there, reminding everybody to go vote.
Far for a field goal.
Yeah, I think he's a baller, man.
Did you see that piece he did for Rush Rush Hospital in the Chicago area? That was a great piece.
I did. It sounds like that was his pediatric ortho doc. He did a surgery way back when. and he came back and he saw all the kids there. I mean, that dude's definitely just an inspiration. He's a big dude. He's a hard worker. So I'm happy for his success. It's fun to watch him play. He's always just a tad bit silly back there, but we all love him.
He chirped. He was good at getting everybody riled up. That was part of the O-line, that O-line, D-line love affair that we had going on.
Yeah, our O-line liked to talk, that's for sure.
Very entertaining college football.
Yeah, the Kill Commons were pretty good at it too. And Jandy wasn't bad.
I like to think that the dog pound was an inspiration to them. We might have had some, motivational aspect in their growth as a unit. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Touchdown by Ryder Stone. Peter Pujols, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff.
There you go.
He's got some pressure.
Another play action fake.
Back fires middle of the field.
Okay.
Incomplete. And that was about to be.
I like when he's running in that direction.
Right. They go back to this little screen pass thing in that overtime, right?
I know.
Got his hands up.
He's a big guy. Great play by who was that?
Moen, yeah. He was very disciplined. Stayed home, baby. Stayed home.
It was going to be a screen, and it was Dartmouth defense got in there so quickly.
You love when you see guys do their job and play with discipline. That's
3 to the right for Pujols. Takes a snap at the knee.
Oh, good push. Oh, get him. Get off.
Continues to drive.
That was a tough run.
Yeah, they had some good running backs. Those 3 kids they played with, those guys are tough.
Daquan Walker that time for 15 yards and a lot of long drives.
Alexander and Gabe Guild, those 3 they had a 3-headed monster there too.
That carry will change some numbers. 5 carries, 25 yards. Hand off, Walker
there you go. That's the way to come and get.
Away for a moment, now races upfield, middle of the field, 5 yards.
It's a great second effort by that running back there, man.
Shy of the first down marker.
Eric's got to wrap up.
There was a missed tackle in the back.
Come on, 5, 6.
No gain, maybe
he had 11 tackles in that game. So did Jack Trainer. Not there though.
Instead it turns into an 8-9 yard gain.
Pujols trips to the right. Defense sags back in the passing game. Pujols he steps up. He goes down.
Okay. We got him sliding now.
He needed a yard. He got 5. He's up to the 4.
How red is red right now? Cascarano.
Once he did that, there was no doubt he was going to get the first down.
Talk about somebody that
could lift the house, man. That dude right there.
10 minutes, 15 seconds to go.
I fell in love with him at the Northwestern camp, man. He was a dude at the Northwestern camp. Talk about a guy that played hard at a summer camp.
I bet.
Not surprising. Yeah, he lifted the house, so we were always competing for the weight belt.
Yeah.
He could lift.
Can we get your side of the Week 1 Woods Watch story, Coach Doves, on the final defensive play?
Sure.
At UNH game.
Yeah, he took his helmet off after the game-sealing sack, and was it you who got in his face about it?
We had a conversation. So the story is longer than that. Him and I have this love affair where, you could see the emotion he plays with, but that's how he is. He'll get down on himself that hard, and then he'll get high on himself that high, And I always tell the guys, act like you've been there before, or act like you expect to make that play. You're not surprised to make that play. And so that was one of those scenarios where he didn't act like he had been there before. It was like his first sack ever in his life. And I just said, hey. And then the flag came out once the helmet. And I'm thinking they're calling it as a live play. So I'm thinking they got a first down and they're going to drive down and kick a field goal, not knowing that they're going to call it after. But to me, it was just one of those teachable moments. And I gave him a big hug and a smooch on the helmet after that. But to me, it's something I'm trying to get to the guys for the next 9 games is we got to act like we do this. This is not a surprise when we make a big play. And we're cool. Him and I are as tight as can be. But yeah, it was a little extra Dobes love. Yeah.
Pretty good defense by Dartmouth.
So
did he really say, "What have I done"? Or is that just a thought in his head? That's the famous quote, apparently. What have I done?
Well, I think he was coming back to reality of he could, he saw the flag and he's going, what have I done? Was this actually on me after I just made one of the great plays of my life, But, yeah, it was a great teaching moment. And as coaches, you don't want to overemphasize something, but you don't want to underemphasize something too. And,
at this stage of the game,
I think we all learn from that.
Make it a field goal game.
But it's, as you know, it's an energy game, it's an emotional game, and nobody played with any more energy and emotion than Cass.
Yeah, no question, man. That's one of my favorite moments all time playing football at Dartmouth is seeing that helmet shoot up in the air. Someone turned it into a GIF. So from time to time, it gets sent out via text when something good happens. Even like during games now, someone will send it after we win. I love to see it.
And it was all over the highlight reel for that year too.
The handoff, right side, handoff.
There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Brennan was kind of like you, Ryder. He was awesome on the Woods Watch Party for week 1, but he kind of came in thinking, so was I good in this game? Oh, right, this is the one where I got the fumble, the big sack, threw the helmet off. So it's fun to see you guys kind of revisit these games. And for Brennan, because I watched the replay, I saw him go crazy at the end. I'm thinking, what's this guy going to be like on the Zoom? And he was laid back, calm as could be. I was like, all right, there's a bit of a difference here. It was great to see both sides.
Yeah, he can be cool, calm, and collected, but when the top goes off, it's off.
Yeah, man.
Like he was trying to explain what in the red means and everything else.
Yeah, he's somebody that'll go in the black every now and then.
Yeah, that dude's Clark Kent, man. When he has his glasses on, he's calm, he's chilling. But when he goes in the black, completely different man, animal. But he gets us riled up, so it kind of works out.
Yeah, if you need some emotion, he'll be there for it.
It was kind of like when Hulk becomes Hulk, I mean, it just becomes a frenzy, and he's everywhere, and he's unbelievable, a lovable guy, and I mean, the team and the game meant so much to him. I mean, he literally would do anything for his teammates, and the neat thing is we got so many guys that are like that just, the love, the brotherhood that these guys have is fun to be part of.
Yeah, Justin Edwards, he's another dude. I see him right now.
Yeah.
I like that, man. Both of those dudes can make plays like that out of nowhere. But, man, that fire, energy. Just love to
He plays with a lot of emotion. He's out there trying to annihilate people. He's fun to watch when he gets going, too. He had a motor.
Incomplete pass there. So this is the end, guys, of a 6-minute drive for Holy Cross. And now it's up in the air if they're even going to get any points out of it. So again, Dartmouth defense firming up when they need to. So this will be interesting.
It'll be a 32-yarder. Watch out for a fake. They pulled off the fake punt tonight.
Well, here it is.
Here's the snap. The hold is good. The kick is blocked.
Nice.
Nice. That was
big time, baby. Look at the energy.
Talk about energy.
Yeah, the team is fun.
Here it is on the replay. Can't quite see who got it.
I think it was Hussein and maybe Diesel down there who helped me out with that one, so I appreciate it. Sure.
Only one name in the box score. It's Jeremiah Duche.
Yeah, but always this thing was way more of a group effort than people realize. I think this year we blocked maybe 5 or 6 kicks as a team, but it really just came from us realizing like we could do it. Like Swamp got one, Darius George got one. Once you get one, it's like, all right. Yeah.
It's like blood in the water, and Sammy does a great job of reminding all the guys that they got to expect to be the one, that you never know where they're going to, try to protect a little bit extra at that's going to open up something else for us.
21-yard line picks up a yard.
Okay, well,
uber conservative here if you're Dartmouth.
Now we're going to grind it out, right, Ryder?
Yeah, we got to try. Didn't get much there.
Ryder time.
Yeah, Holy Cross knows Dartmouth wants to run, so they'll load up the box. And
funny, watch the game over again, and you just start analyzing everything he did. Like, man, what the right read? I don't know. I'm not in a film session right now. I'm just rewatching the game.
Stone and Hagdorn, 5 wide, 3 to the right. Dartmouth goes right to left here.
While we have you on the topic, Ryder, I was hoping to ask you about how cool it was to be able to play in the CFL. You got the Montreal Alouettes shirt on, to go from Calgary and maybe a relative unknown to one of the few guys who's able to make a pro career for a couple of years out of FCS. I mean, what a story, man. I mean, tell us what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, in short, it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I always, obviously, I mean, anybody that really plays football at a high level, it's always been a dream to be able to kind of make it to the next level in any capacity. And just to have that chance was awesome. I mean, I had a couple starts while I was playing in Montreal, and the energy there was awesome. They had great fan base and played with some pretty big names and got, good run here or there. Unfortunately, had to retire due to concussions, had a couple pretty bad ones, and was out for the better part of 3 months this last season, so figured it was.
It makes the catch.
Good thing I caught that ball. That could have been bad.
Got
distracted.
Well, that was a line drive.
He gave me a rocket there. I remember it kind of hit me in the face. I wasn't ready for it. I was just looking, hoping that I could still get a hold of it.
Anytime tonight.
I was still fixing my face mask from making a chip block.
He's standing on about his 10.
Oh man!
No, the little guy.
It was great. I got to play. I never actually got to play against Flo, but Flo was playing in Calgary as well, and I was able to watch him, and it was really cool just to share that with somebody else too. And Vernon Harris actually came up for the one game that we were supposed to play with together, and both of us ended up we were sitting out that game for injury or whatever, but. It was just really cool to kind of have that connection, and Vernon's another guy that played in the NFL for a little while, so it is great. We do have a fair amount of Dartmouth guys that made it to the next level.
Boy, what a great punt.
Yeah.
Wow.
A big hit delivered on a ball that
Great
was
punt.
being juggled from the outset.
Bun was hustling on that one. What a great hit.
That one fumbled out of bounds. It
Yeah.
almost feels like a coin flip for Holy Cross if they're going to be able to cleanly field the punt, and that's the pressure that Dartmouth's putting on.
McKinney Crudden, I think, who
Is
delivered
that Davis
the
Brief with the kick there?
well.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Captain.
Yeah, that's one of those special team game breakers. It's funny, you watch film to kind of prepare for the other team, but I really think when you're watching that special team film and you see somebody fumble or you see someone block a kick, it makes you a little bit nervous. Those jitters come, people start to do the same thing.
Hey, that's Tamarick out there too, right? 46.
Yeah, young TJ.
Bit of playtime this game.
Hands it off up the middle. Hesitation move to the 20, up to the 23, 24, 26. How about that from Miles Alexander?
Yeah, I think we're
12 yards
we're playing the pass a little bit more than a run on that one.
3:38 to go. Dartmouth leads.
How different are these 2-minute drills, or 3.5-minute drill in this case, with two teams that run no huddle offenses anyway? Is it still that much quicker with time as big of a factor as it is, or is it relatively the same on both sides of the ball?
I think what it does is it creates the opportunity for them to have more plays because they're comfortable being a fast-paced team, it creates a situation when you're up by 6 here that you're really defending the touchdown, not the field goal. So you're not going to get real concerned if they have a little bit of success early. You're looking for that one down where you win it and then start getting, the odds, the numbers in our favor. So they got back-to-back first downs here.
Trips to the left. Snap, fake handoff, Pujols off his back.
We bring a little pressure there.
Crutton in coverage, goes for the knockaway, and it's caught.
What a catch.
What a catch, and not bad coverage
You know,
either.
Blaze made a nice catch on that.
27-yard line where he's
that was great position by Kai, too. I felt like it was just a good back shoulder throw.
Left side.
I talked to Kai. I told him I was
He's all over that dude.
watching this game, and he's like, I just want to forget that play. He really was in great position.
Yeah, well, one of the linebackers should have triggered quicker. We were bringing the backer blitzes, and they're both supposed to come and then read out. And he hesitated for some reason.
This is an incredible game for Kai, though. He had 8 tackles, forced fumble, broke up 3 passes. Sure, that was I thought a great offensive play. Not much he could have done there, but I mean, what a leader and what a talent he was.
Coming off, looks limping a little bit.
Nah, yeah, Kai was a beast for us. I mean, I remember the first day he came to school, he came and saw the team and spoke with a couple of players for a bit. And I kind of just had a feeling he was special then. But the work he put in every year was amazing.
Yeah.
His ethic is hard.
There we go, Rocco.
Yeah.
There's Rocco.
Golden ball.
Yeah, Kai, engineering student, and he was a walk-on. And just the work that he put in to show up from a walk-on to be the captain senior year, just, I mean, tells us what he put in. Yeah, 2-time captain.
3rd and 10.
It's remarkable.
But yeah, he's a working machine. He would always stay after working his technique, his punch and press. Okay, here we go. Get home.
Up the middle. He's got room. 25-20. Dives ahead. He's got close to the first down. They might mark him a yard short. It was 3rd and 10.
Yeah, when he took off, he could take off now.
Not a predetermined draw, but Dartmouth was coming from the outside on both sides.
9 yards on 3rd and 10. So
gets 9 yards.
Tight.
Big 4th down, big 4th and 1.
Running and Dartmouth needs to get their men off the field. They do. Here's the snap on 4th and 1. Gill up the middle from behind. He's tackled. He's got enough. He falls forward for the 1 yard needed.
Coming in like this late in the game, I just remember, we're thinking like we wanted to set ourselves as different from last year, right? We didn't want anything like that. And while the Stetson game was a great victory, this kind of felt like that first moment where we got to draw, a line in the sand and say who we were as a team. So this was definitely an identity moment, right? If we lose here, we kind of bend over backwards for it and let this team take it from us. And so this was that first marking. As oddly enough, the whole season felt like this, but I thought this was going to be a one-off deal where we went into overtime or to the end of the game. We kept fighting, and I think this game giving us that opportunity made us like that, for sure.
You're going to run out of time. If Holy Cross
you need to live through these and these moments and come out successful to build that belief in each other.
The snap to Pujols, drops back, across the middle, he fires incomplete, a huge hit by McManus.
Break up.
Yeah.
We got a couple of players that are going to be banged
Who's that, Danny?
Tenio Ianni and McManus, 2 players who went down.
I think he ends up being all right on that play, but I think he took a big part of that hit from Kai, too.
Yeah, Kai's helmet came off. He had to take him out for a play.
Of course, just injured on the previous play. Does not.
We had to put in a young guy.
With a running back to his right, he's in the shotgun. Trips to the right. Here's the
a lot of trips.
Hand it off to Gill.
Wrapped
up from behind.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I forgot about that face mask.
Yeah.
You might be right.
I forgot about Rocco there on that one. Just a little high,
3-yard gain.
A little high.
But it might have been a face mask from behind that forced Gill to go down.
Okay, mark it off. Yeah, hard to miss that call. Yeah.
What's this like for you, Ryder, right now on the sideline? Are you essentially a fan right there? Is there anything you can do to prepare for the next drive, or are you just simply watching?
For face mask.
watching and sweating. Man, this is nerve wracking. But like our defense is stopping them the whole way and just gritting their teeth. I mean, it was impressive. But yeah, there's not much you can do but just sit there and hope. Count on your guys.
Hands it off,
Oh, what a play.
Turn a corner, nowhere to go, picks up a yard. He gets
Rocco did a good job. Jackson Perry. Was that Nico Lelos?
Yeah, look how skinny he looks. He's saying, what am I doing out here?
Man.
Now he's with the Giants. Nico.
27 seconds to go.
Yeah. Oh, here he goes.
Oh, stay up.
He rolled.
Oh, man.
Oh, he could have ended it right there.
19 seconds.
And I remember the fans going crazy during this part too.
Yeah, this was.
Everybody's on the edge of their seat, standing up.
On the 7-yard line.
You can see Rocco's tired there when you see the guys with the hands.
Hands on the hip.
You know, that's something you look for, Tyler, is there, you know, but there's certain guys, you know, they're going to gut it out, take a deep breath, and go make something happen here. It looks like we got a little twist game going.
With a man in motion, they switch out of that formation. 7 to go on the play clock.
Okay, unbalanced, motion across, sprint out. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on! Ah! Nice. Great job. Great job. Great job of stringing out. Great job on second contain there.
They have to kick the conversion. They get the win. Dartmouth gets the stop.
So what's the call, Coach? Got to score a touchdown to keep the game alive. You probably can't play the run, right?
No, you're not playing the run. You're really setting your feet at about the goal line, and you're really playing the end zone now. So you want your backers back at the goal line. Really, you want everybody. They should deepen up a little bit here, so then they work from there. This kid I mean,
that's an incredible play.
You know, it's our best cover guy against their best guy. If you see it, you see Eric come on second contain here and just gets a half a step away, you know. I mean, it's just and where he threw that, it was right at the crossbar. It just I mean, I think we whacked him pretty good there, but it's just a great play by a great player. I thought the coverage was good. I thought the pressure was good. The hit on the quarterback. I mean, look at that. I mean, look at him get his foot down.
Top of Danny McManus.
Great play by the quarterback. Great play by the receivers. I mean, textbook. The way he squared his feet up to get that throw off was crazy. And we were in good position overall, too.
This is huge.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Believe, baby. Believe.
That's what everyone was saying on the sideline.
Oh, man.
Here we go.
What a way to run it. This right here, even though this got called back, this just shows what team we were, right? So just having the wherewithal, you know, if you're trying to take this back right now, everybody be on the same page.
There was just one forward lateral there, right? Is that what ended up happening?
Yeah.
It was so close.
Oh, man.
It's enthusiasm right there.
Yeah. I guess JB was a little bit too enthusiastic. That would have been a sweet way to end, too.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a timeout right before this, and I just remember it like coming to the sideline, and it seemed like everyone was much more confident that we were going to block this than I was. Coach T felt like we were going to block it. Everybody was. And I was like,
there was no doubt in our mind.
Yeah.
No doubt in our mind.
We got it done. I think, you know, having one blocked earlier kind of messed them up a little bit. They were nervous, and they messed up in their operation just enough. We counted when we needed it to.
Okay.
Boy, that's a
So
truth.
Dartmouth has not taken the lead.
All right, here's the replay.
So here, Wayne, take a look at it.
Look
I
at
would love
that.
to have gotten the,
Wow.
Awesome.
I would love to have gotten the side angle view. Okay.
Somebody threw that ball back there.
That's not a forward pass.
That was the forward lateral.
That's it right there, yeah.
Where it's kicked back. Yep.
You got it to the right guy's hands. That guy can.
Nobody's catching him.
Nobody's catching JB, man.
Straight into overtime now. Let's go.
They just punch you right down the middle of the field.
I just can't get over what Holy Cross went through. Extra point to win it, then you think you just lost it, then there was a forward lateral, so you're still alive. I mean, they've got to collect themselves pretty quick against you guys who feel like you've got all the momentum in the world.
Yeah.
Start the 25 left half.
Okay, here we go.
With a man in motion, Emery Thompson.
Overtime has begun.
Thompson end around. He cuts it back at the
here you go, Emery.
There you go, baby. Great start. Great.
Everyone probably knows this, but just in case, both teams get a chance with a possession, almost like a shootout in soccer. If Dartmouth scores a touchdown and Holy Cross can't match it, then Dartmouth wins. And of course, extra point or 2-point conversion, after you score a touchdown, it's up to you for the first couple of tries.
Or do one better. Here's a man in motion, handoff Ryder Stone. He dashes.
There you
back.
go.
He gets to the 50.
I thought I was going to ride out on that.
Great job bouncing it out and getting the first down, man. Good job.
12-yard line.
Yeah.
First down, Dartmouth.
2 running plays.
Boy, you can tell the guys are playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of juice right now. They're feeling it.
Create a little misdirection of his own with his legs.
I mean, that block set us up so well. We fed off of that energy going into the first drive.
Back Vito Penza hangs out on the right side of the formation as well. Drew Honeycutt, the wide receiver, goes left to right. Here's a handoff. Ryder Stone, he evaluates. He ducks forward, close to the 10.
Yeah, giving it to the big boys. Let them grind it out a little bit, wear them out up front a little bit.
Dartmouth can get a first down at the 2.
Let the big dudes
first down, or you take the field goal on 4th down.
carry the momentum, knock them back.
Touchdown, then you lose. If you get a touchdown, then you're certainly forcing another inning.
Good mixture of formations too,
Smith, lone tailback,
a lot of different looks, a lot of motion.
Here's a fake.
Yeah, working on his craft.
Woo!
There we go.
Yeah, baby.
There it is.
Yeah,
Jay.
Fake handoff on the
Huge touchdown.
Great execution there.
Does a great job faking it. Steven Johnson gets his first catch of the night.
That is great execution. And we work the heck out of our, the red zone and the overtime type stuff in the preseason, in our Wildcat.
Wow.
I mean, we call them special cat situations, all the different down and distance and field positions. And,
get the extra point here.
so the guys are really comfortable in these kind of situations.
Stop, you win the game.
Snap is good. The hold is good. The kick
There you go.
Sweet.
It's a pretty automatic decision to kick that extra point, especially when Holy Cross is having trouble on the PATs, or have some teams maybe thought about really making it tough going for 2.
So they are in 4-down territory.
Yeah, I think the philosophy is take the 1 at that point and give your defense a chance to, defend all 25 yards and unless you just know for sure you got a 2-point play that's automatic.
Johnston.
It's much different for the second team that goes. They have a bit of a harder decision.
Yeah, they got a much tougher
He gets
decision.
one in game number 2 for Dartmouth. Dartmouth is welcoming the number.
And I think it played into the fact that they had a couple blocked, and Tommy Gilmore is a great coach, does a good job with his guys. His guys really play hard for him, and they're always well prepared. Always well prepared.
Takes the ball. Puyol drops back, fires far side, catch made.
Okay.
Hit McKinney front. That's a pickup of
Not concerned with a 2 or 3 yard gain there.
Pretty generous spot.
Yeah, Andre Harton didn't seem to get all the way up close as far as they gave him, but
How much gas is in the tank, Jeremiah? Is it just all adrenaline now that you've survived and made it to OT?
Coach Doe's preaches, I always got to have a little bit more gas in the tank. We live for this moment. Like, this is, especially as a defensive player, this is what you want. End of the game, defense needs to make something happen in the red zone. This is perfect. This is ideal. This is what you come to play college football for. So I'm glad it happened. Oh, come on. First down.
Going into that.
That was a great cut by
We're in the first overtime, and Dartmouth has just scored.
That's one of those plays as a defensive end you hate to mess up where they miss that split zone look, tight end away from you. You don't want a tight end block you ever. Like, tight end should never block, especially our defensive ends are like 280, 290 always.
Two wide receivers to the left. Declan Walker, the running back.
I don't miss those.
Barks for the snap. He gets it. Hands it off Walker up the middle of the field. Nowhere to go. Picks up 2 or 3 yards. Certainly not further than the 10. 2nd and 7 coming up.
They're trying to grind us a little bit here, JD.
Again, 2nd and 7.
That's all right.
You might never, if you go to decades worth of football games, see a game decided on a block.
That's 2nd and 7.
Go
to the pistol look.
Broken play.
Oh man, I remember missing this. We got a flag, thankfully. But I think we were supposed to be flipped on the front, and at first there was a little confusion if me and Kaz were going to switch at the end. And we decided to stay. And I was in 2-point, and usually he was the guy for that. But it worked out okay until I missed the tackle.
You missed the sack. Well, you had like you had a piece of them.
Seemed all too obvious of a call to be made with Duche.
I'll take this 5 yards though.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Holy Cross can get a first down. The ball's on the 20. They get to the 3-yard line, they would get a first down.
It's all huge, you know. Every inch down there. Little timeout.
Dartmouth will play with 3.
Okay, 2nd and 17.
The holding call was on the running back that time.
Mm-hmm.
They've got Brendan
Yeah, we used to try and if a running back tried to block you, you were supposed to try and punish him.
Going back to pass. Cascarano pressures.
Okay, there's the screen.
Great job by Trainer.
Great job. Way to run.
Rocco
running. See, that's what we're looking for right there is Tyler, is those D linemen running. Boy, they do a great job pursuing to the football. And that was a really good job by Trainer turning the guy back in and working off the block to get in on that tackle. Give Rocco and the rest of the guys a chance to get there.
10 to get a touchdown.
Big 3rd and 7 now.
3rd and 7. Ball at the 10-yard line. Dartmouth with a lead in overtime. Pujols is
working the week.
Pump fakes, fires to the end zone, tipped incomplete. Great job in coverage. Danny McManus for the initial tip.
Great play, my boy. Yeah, they tried to go one-on-one, tried to isolate him, you know.
First down at the 3 or...
Look at Kaz.
Yeah, there he is. There he is. Getting that was a good crowd, great energy, the lights under the lights. What a beautiful setting Memorial Field is in those night games, man. Those fans really get into it, too. Okay, here we go.
Dartmouth will win.
All right.
Here's the snap. Pujols takes it. He gets pressured, floats it to the middle of the field. Blaze Ball with the catch at the 1-yard line. He is just short. We've got a flag in the end zone.
Down at the 1.
Probably going to be interference in Dartmouth.
With the first down with the flag.
To see what Blaze Bell, who made the catch just short of the goal line.
They needed 7 yards. They picked up 9.
But we'll have to listen in.
It looks like Stratton had a pass interference call, but they'll just decline that to set him up at the 1.
Yeah, I think Kai got a little ding there on the tackle. Oh, I guess that's Bond, huh? Yeah, it's Stratton. Yeah.
Put it into the end
oh, it had great coverage. That's a heck of a catch.
Or go for 2. And go for the
heck of a catch.
And if you've just had your last 2 kicks blocked, your Holy Cross,
you might think about going for 2.
You might think about it. Boone Stratton was a player who was down at the goal line.
Yeah, it's getting stressing me out just watching this again.
I can go without watching this play.
It's a big decision.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't miss that.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Never like when they
run it down.
Yeah.
Nah. That's something these last two teams have done much better than us at this year. I mean, red zone numbers for these last two defenses are crazy, 50%, 60% efficiency, which is incredible in comparison to us. So shout out to them. I love watching them do their thing, man. It's crazy.
And now call the timeout.
So they're going for the win here. Going for 2 points.
Going for 2. Timeout.
From the 2.5-yard line.
Timeout the big green. We got to think it. We got to think it out now. Get our right people out there. So we got the 3 big boys, the 3 linebackers, and the 5 secondary guys.
Big green win under center. Puyol.
Okay, there's the shift. 2 backs in the backfield.
Switches up the formation. Daquan Walker, the running back. Here's the snap.
There it is.
Dumps it back
Woo!
left. Sims out to the
Mowing, coming up big, baby.
Huge.
Eric.
Two-point conversion.
Eric coming up big.
That was a great fellow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody's storming the field.
Awesome. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh, man.
It was a great job by 54 staying home and Miley coming back. You know, look at this. There should have been a hold right there on 65, but you know, great job of getting. Look at that.
There's a juice check for you.
There it is. There's a juice check. Big time, baby. Woo. That's awesome. What a great feeling. What a great feeling. All right, one more shot at it. Look at the discipline, him staying home. Beat the block.
Yeah.
There's Danny, and then there's Eric. Wow, look at that. Was that trainer going by jumping?
Also been there on the spot as well for Dartmouth as they come away with a 27-26.
Great college football game. Great college football
team
game.
in the country. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was the 80th all-time meeting between these two schools, and Dartmouth coming in at just one more win than Holy Cross did. So separating a little. That's 3 in a row against Holy Cross. A win over a ranked team. You're 2-0 to start the year. I mean, life is good right now for Dartmouth.
Overtime, Dartmouth comes up with a
yeah, well, like you said, I mean, you think about it, just 2 games separate those 2 great football traditions and programs. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And really awesome to be with these guys and to be part of it with them.
This is a part of the broadcast, gentlemen, where we give you all one final word to either recap the game, say hi to all your fellow former Big Green players, or whatever you want to say. But I just want to say it's been great working with you guys. You make this look a lot easier, and the same goes for week 1. You make it look a lot easier than it actually is, and it's been fun to relive it. So I always start with you, Jeremiah, the captain, and who many might call the hero of this game, certainly with some block kicks.
Yeah, man. Well, it's definitely been a pleasure. As always, I love Dartmouth football. Go Big Green. It's good seeing all your faces. Coach Dubs especially, the Don right there. So it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Ryder Stone, let's hear from you next. It's been great having you, man.
Oh, it's been a true pleasure to get to relive this a little bit. I mean, it's great seeing old teammates and, you know, feeling that excitement again is amazing, and it's great to see y'all. And as always, go Big Green.
Coach Dobes, final word.
Hey, we talk about bringing the juice, bringing the energy, and the love we have for each other, and how we play for each other, and it's just a true blessing to be part of all these teams, and just the tradition continues, and how you guys bleed green and take care of that tradition that we have. I mean, it's I want to say thanks to all those guys out there and for all the hard work and effort. I hope it's half as fun for you guys as it has been for me and the coaching staff. Thank you, Tyler and Ben, a lot too. This is a great opportunity for the program and for all of us to relive some great moments.
It's been a lot of fun, guys. Everyone watching, make sure you send good vibes to Jeremiah. His applications for medical school are out. Good luck to you. Ryder Stone taking over the financial sector in Salt Lake City. And Coach Dobes to get back on the field ASAP as practice is getting underway. Everyone watching, thanks so much. The Big Green start the season 2-0 in the Woods Watch Party with a thrilling overtime win over Holy Cross. We'll see you next week.